We are live.
All right.
Broadcast is on.
All
I'm Slim
right.
Dead
Let's go.
Ladrone, everyone's favorite silly, cynical asshole, and we are here today with Leo, Southpaw, Wayward, and Hatchet Head.
Hey,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies.
You guys introduce
Good
yourselves
evening.
while I shill on Twitter real quick.
all right.
Who wants to go first?
Name's
do the
Hatchet Head.
Oh, Hatch, go first. You go first, Hatch.
Okay.
Okay.
Go.
Name's Hatchet Head. I'm just a random asshole on Twitter. I post a lot of dumb shit. I talk about video games and drawings like once in a blue moon.
My name's Leo. I am a hobbyist cartoonist. I post my art on Twitter and Newgrounds. If you happen to like cartoony stuff, give me a follow because I do a lot of that sort of thing in traditional methods, of course. But I play games too.
All right. That's cool.
I'm Wayward. I draw and talk about random things like video games and cartoons and all that, usually with low context. I'm on Twitter.
And my name's Southpaw, and I am trying to be. I'm also draw occasionally, and I just retweet whatever I just want to retweet, whatever just sounds interesting. Hit me up on at Rip Van Slime on Twitter if y'all want. I'm not forcing you.
I am.
He's intimidating you. The skulls are intimidating.
I
He did that on
bite.
purpose.
He's got a bone to pick with you.
Boo!
Oh, we are going with bone
I
puns?
will
Oh
not
my
laugh at
God.
that.
Look. When there's a pun, I have to make it. I'm the Punisher.
Stop.
Right. Fine.
So, we recently got a look at E3, and we got to look at the PS5. We got to look at some new games, gamers. Where's my gamers? My gamers rise up.
I'm a
Rat-
gamer.
I'm
Hashtag.
sitting down.
I'm kind of surprised that Ratchet and Clank is coming back. To be honest, I haven't heard that name in years.
It had that reboot. Wasn't that good, but people liked it.
I think
It-
Like,
From what
I
I
think-
hear, the reboot was good, but the movie just sucked ass.
I didn't really like the.
Yeah.
It's like it. I just didn't really like a lot of the choice they made for it, and like they kind of changed its
It was-
character completely.
It was a weird release for the movie. Like 10 years after Ratchet and Clank was still kind of popular.
That was weird.
I don't know.
like,
Yeah.
like I think like they really just wanted like it was a Sony cash grab because it felt like so generic instead of like the cynical edge that made Ratchet and Clank good to begin with.
Oh, okay.
And
then
it
I
was
didn't-
just so
yeah.
boring and cliched and shit like that.
Yeah, the original's a game
Yeah,
about
from-
people selling out, and then this one unironically sells out.
Yeah.
Yeah, from
I
like,
was kind of hoping
when-
that the Ratchet and Clank movie would have been at least good because there was potential in that, but execution-wise, it really felt like a television movie pilot.
It really
It
did.
looked like one.
And that's part
Yeah.
of the problem with the
Yeah.
game too. I could actually see the new one being good. They don't. I really hope it's not a reboot. I want a reboot too.
It doesn't look like the new game to reboot. It looks like we had
Here's
in the foot.
I am cool with the reboot of 2 because 2 had a terrible fucking ending.
like here's what I know. Here's what I know for a fact. Ratchet and Clank, the reboot. They threw that away because like people weren't interested because it was very. It was a bland nothing. No one remembers the reboot unless you bring it up, and it was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And then,
completely
like-
forgot. There's a reboot?
Yeah, like
no,
you
I
forget
swear
there's
I
a
hear people
reboot.
talk about it all the time now. Like there are people, well, not really like all the time, but people are like, it's like, oh, what's some games of the last generation you'd like remember that you liked a lot? And people are like Ratchet and Clank. I'm like, really? Okay, it was fine. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, like it was just basically like it was a vanilla Ratchet and Clank game with a crappy story and all the stuff you liked about Ratchet and Clank in it. If you just play, if you based it on gameplay alone, it's probably pretty good.
I mean, I wouldn't say pretty good. It's like way too easy. Like even on hard mode, I was just like, oh, okay, let me just sleepwalk through this.
I never really got
Yeah.
into Ratchet and Clank, to be honest.
I only
I mean-
played the first 2 games of Ratchet and Clank. I didn't catch up on the rest because hell, I didn't have a PS3 or a PS4 at the time.
I didn't get one till
I played
like
the
2015?
PS2 trilogy.
You see, here's the thing. Like, I played a little bit of the PS2 trilogy, but mostly I played Jack and Daxter over my uncle's house. And then, like, for me, and I played I beat the Jack and Daxter trilogy. I played Jack X Racing. But like the games that I grew up with, like my PS2 era, like platformer games, it was the Sly Cooper series. I love that series.
Oh,
I didn't play that one
Sly
until
friggin'
very
I
Cooper.
never
recently.
played them.
You guys never did play Sly Cooper?
I wouldn't say I didn't. Like I
They
played the
look-
first one very recently. I still haven't gotten to 2 and 3 though.
Well,
They look amazing. It's just I never had a chance to.
the Sly, I played the first 2 Sly games, and I'm kind of surprised that I missed out on playing those back when they were new, because at the time, those were some pretty good looking cell shaded graphics, what the PS2 could handle.
There was a game. There was a game for it that never got released. Like Sly Cooper 4 or something like that.
Well,
It's called. Well, here's the thing. It's called Thieves in Time, and it was like a PS3 exclusive. I think it was on PS3. Maybe it was PS3. Definitely PS3.
they'll have.
Um, and then like people thought that game was Personally, I didn't like it. I didn't like Thieves in Time. I thought the story and the gameplay were both kind of, especially the story. The story just didn't work for me. But then there was like a movie they were gonna make that looked hyper realistic and stuff, and I was like,
Oh.
okay.
I remember that. That
That's
looked
I
kind of
actually
cool.
remember. I actually
I-
remembered seeing the trailer for Sly Cooper, and here's something that kind of bugged me a bit about it. Didn't it look like it didn't have an idea of what it wanted to be in terms of graphic looks?
Yeah, like you want to. Yeah.
I mean, that's like how it always
Yeah.
goes. Like, you know that trend where it's like in Hollywood where they're like, "Oh, let's take this. Got this cute cartoon. Is known for this like his lovable character design. Let's turn them into monsters." Like that. Sonic almost happened to him, but then there's also like
Detective
TMNT and stuff.
Pikachu.
I mean,
Yeah, they're
let me. The thing is, it's just that this was going to be a fully animated movie, so that shouldn't have been an excuse for Sly Cooper to look like a.
Burning
Pixar.
Exeter, they're. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Burning Exeter, they're extremely fun. They're like the best stealth platformer games ever made. Go play them.
Here's the crazy thing.
Sorry.
Here's the crazy thing, though. The studio that made the Ratchet and Clank movie was also going to make a Sly Cooper movie.
Oh,
You can
I mean,
imagine where that
I like
went.
this.
I mean, Sony's been trying to get a cinematic universe, so best look at the video games, right?
That's actually possible because like there's this one scene in Ratchet and Clank the movie, right, where it's like going over like it's creature files, and it had Sly Cooper on there, and also had Daxter on there to try to figure out what kind of creature, trying to figure out what Ratchet was. Like he was a Lombax, right? And and it went through all the creatures, and it went through a raccoon that was from the
Sly Cooper.
new design for Sly, and then it was it went to Daxter. So they were really planning something, and I was like, yeah,
that could have worked if they had a better written script and made more money.
It would just be more men
Yeah.
in general. I could imagine it coming out.
I mean, there were talks about a possible Sly Cooper television show at one point, but I guess that
That'd been
never
cool.
went anywhere.
Like 2D and stuff. I'd have been all about that.
Honestly, I'm surprised that a Sly Cooper cartoon never happened. I mean, like, look, do I need
Well,
to explain the cinematic the cutscenes in the game in the first 3 games?
yeah, like cause like the Sly Cooper games were like based off of were based like more off of noir comics, while also having this like comedic style very similar to like how do I put this? The comedic style of Sly Cooper was a lot more subtle, sleight of hand, and clever than Jack and Daxter Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank, it was blunt and like super in your face about it. With Jack and Daxter, it was super crude and in your face from Jack to Onward. You know what I mean? Daxter was making a bunch of sex jokes and stuff like that.
Oh Christ!
Yeah,
I love
and
the-
then but like
No,
the thing,
it was worse in the first game, I'll say, just because like the tone didn't fit. But once the tone actually came to like a T rating, the way Daxter's personality worked was a lot better, if you ask me.
yeah,
So it's
like
kind of
it
like
was
a
an
mini
improvement.
Oh,
Yeah,
so it's kind
it's
of like a mini version of Conker's Bad Fur Day, kind of.
Not really. It's T
not
rating,
no
like I
no
said.
not at all. It's more like
It didn't look
It's-
too extreme.
I mean, like, how do I put this? It reminds me of Animaniacs, where
Oh.
it really is just sleight of hand, clever innuendos and jokes like that you have to pay attention to actually get to. And even when you don't pay attention, even when it's just like humor, it's still well thought out and well placed and well written. Like there's this one joke in Sly there's this one joke in Sly 2 that always got me, and he said, and it was him and Carmelita, and they were trying to escape the giant like helicarrier place, right? And he said and Carmelita said, and no sweet talk, Sly. So just get in here, man the cockpit, handle the guns, and go to town with me, or something
Oh
like that.
God.
And then Sly was like, "That's not sweet. That's not sweet talk." That was the most clever innuendo I've seen in like kids media I've ever heard. And I was like, "Bravo!"
Someone really thought that one out.
Nice.
I hope
And
that
then,
writer got
like-
a raise.
And then like there was like Sly 3, where it was just the stupid because like again a lot of the comedy is just you know how it's just characters talking. A
Yeah.
lot of that is just what makes Sly Cooper funny. There's this one scene in Sly 3 where he's trying to distract a guard and he tells him to go home, and the guard's hungry, and the guard says, "Man, I'm so hungry, I can't wait to get home and taste my mom's pasta sauce. I can get buried in that stuff." You know what I mean? And then like his partner, and then like Sly's partner shows up, Bentley, and he said, "Did everything go okay with the guard?" And Sly's like, he said he wanted to be buried in his mom's pasta sauce, and Bentley's like, "Well, that's strange." It's just- and what sells it in the end is that throughout the entire mission, like you know how like characters talk over like their little earpieces and stuff. Throughout the entire mission,
Yeah.
is Bentley. Sly keeps talking about the sauce because that's all he's thinking about. He says, we're talking about a new instance of flavor. The guy said he wanted to be buried in it. That's not just something you say about any ordinary sauce."
Jesus Christ.
That's me when I discovered ranch for the first time. I wanted to be buried in that.
Oh boy. While it's not in the same vein, there's also this rather clever bit. I think it's from the third game. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I never did play Sly 3. I did play the first 2 Sly games where you talk to one. I think it's Bentley that talks to this guy, and the other guy says to him, You got nothing to say, and Bentley is just being straight silent with the guy.
I think that was Sly. I think it might have been Sly. Was it with Mugshot when he said that?
Yeah, I think it was Mugshot.
And he said like, "Yeah, nothing to say." He's like, "No, not really." Yeah, but like anyway, back to E3 and Ratchet and Clank. Um, what do you guys think about the new Lombax?
Oh, the
Um,
gray one.
The Twitter seems to love
There
her.
is a ton of porn of it already, and I am not
I'm
shocked.
gonna
I
be
mean,
honest.
of
I'm not
course.
impressed.
I mean, that's just
I'm gonna be
like
honest.
I thought it was like old Ratchet, or I thought it was like an old version of the main character, or something like that.
A new face. I thought it was like a different dimension
so
version of Ratchet,
fast
but
on Twitter.
My main thing is there have been Lombaxes before in the franchise, so it's not really new. I mean, they've already tried to act like that's a new thing once. But in any case, I was thinking to myself when I saw her, I was like, she doesn't look that interesting the way she is, but I'm sure some artists will come along and make fan arts of her that are way cooler than what that is, and that's already happened already. So I'm pretty happy with
yeah,
it.
like she
Fan art
feels
in
she
quotes.
does look like original character Do Not Steal with the robot arms and the earrings.
Exactly that. Like, she
Yeah,
looks like one of those
Well,
characters like around to like Jenica from
Kind of.
TMNT or something like
Kind
that.
of.
she at least she's a little more appealing compared to someone, say, whatever the hell Ken Penders is drawing these days.
Or like Cold Steel the Hedgehog, or Sonic Chew, or
It's
any one of those
not like as
characters.
bad as those, but it's like it's one of
It's
those ones where you can see how
They could do better.
it's not. I'm not gonna say distracting. It's just kind of like it seems like a professionally one of those. This is my OC as opposed to like kind of like how there's that one. Like I said, there's that in TMNT. There's the new fifth turtle or whatever, where it's like
Venus.
this is a little awkward, but it's not like so bad that it's grating.
To
Like,
be
Like
fair,
it
that-
fits.
to be
Yeah,
fair,
I mean-
we only got to be
It
fair,
fits.
guys. We only got like one shot of her. Let's
Yeah,
give it,
I'm
let's
just going
give
off
it
the
time
design
where this
alone.
goes. Let's give it some time where this goes.
My ultimate
I
thing
mean,
is
like-
at least a good gameplay. That's all I care about. If she's like a cool character that has like a cool extra thing, and adds a certain thing to the way the gameplay flows, then I'm gonna be all for it. I say
Yeah,
like I'm gonna
like-
get a PS5 either way though.
yeah. Like, here's the thing. Like, I like. I kind of see where you're coming from. It does feel like very much Jenica. Like, it feels like it's unnecessary.
It,
But, like,
it feels like some band made their own thing, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
but I'm on the staff now. Now I can add her in.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's not inherently a bad thing, but you know you're gonna try to make her to the main cast, and I'm like, yeah, and like it's the same thing I felt with Jenica when that happened, because like she just kind of like was dropped in there, and like they tried to make her like the fifth turtle for like. I already don't like IDW Turtle anyway. I don't like them at all.
From
It's
what I
fine.
s-
It's been fine the whole time. That's the most. It's one of those things I pick up. I'm like, oh, that was a fine read. I did not have
Yeah,
that
like
many problems.
there was
IDW.
the only thing from IDW recently that I liked so far is like how they're trying to like do with Sonic. I think they're doing fine with Sonic, the Sonic comics after the Archie bullshit that happened.
Yeah, I
want-
didn't even say that. That's just like
Oh,
I'm in that camp of it's fine, and I like Sonic anyways, so I was probably gonna
Yeah.
buy it. You know,
You want
But
to
like-
Sonic.
But like I'm just like not into like the TMNT IDW. I don't like the whole reincarnation thing.
oh that
I-
annoyed me too.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, it's weird. It's really
It's-
weird and super complicated.
It doesn't take me out of the book
basically-
completely.
the
And
why
then
I
they
just don't
made-
think
and then they
magic
made-
goes into TMNT at all.
And then they made Hun Casey's dad for some reason.
What?
And yeah, like that's the thing. Hun is Casey's dad
How?
now. Yeah, I don't
How
know.
Like, to be
Uh,
honest. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna go first?
Nah, go ahead.
Like, to be honest, I never really saw magic fitting into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at all. I just strictly thought it was just science fiction. Like
Now in-
mutagen,
I wouldn't say all
dude,
that.
It's
always-
been magic for a while. It's been magic since the original run with like Renette. Remember her? She's been around since the original run.
It's always been one of
Um,
those catch and sync like comics, kind of like X-Men, where it's like, oh, this week we fought a vampire, next we're gonna go into space. It's one of those. It's always one of
Yeah,
those.
it's definitely one of those.
Because I know
So-
in 2004 TMNT they did that, where it's like the
Yeah,
turtles turn to
it's-
like.
Oh, yeah,
It's Ninja Tribunal arc. Ninja Tribunal arc.
that's the most accurate. That's like the best adaptation of it all, just because like they actually did honor how just batshit the whole property is.
And
Yeah,
they
like
got the
2000
original guy to write it.
Yeah, they got. Yeah, here's the thing. Like 2003 Turtles is the closest adaptation to the original comics ever created. It's the closest adaptation done right.
And that's
And
like
I
hard
love
for me
it
to
for
say
that.
too, because I actually grew up with the when I was a little baby boy, the original show was still running. So I was like, oh, that I actually had to like go back and be like, okay, never mind, this is the better one.
Like here's the thing. I like the 2003 version is still my favorite. The 2012 version is a close second. It's actually really. It was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and it turned out to be really good.
I really did
Um,
like that run of
It
the
was
team.
really. I really liked it.
Is that this?
The
is
best-
That the, is that
I
the
didn't
one
watch
with the
enough
thing
of
with
it,
the
I'll say.
CG?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the CGI one.
I mean, design wise, I actually like the designs of how they looked in the CG.
Yeah, I like them too. I like the designs. I like how they give them make Donatello a lot taller and skinnier, and Michelangelo looks
Yeah.
actually younger, and stuff like that.
they're
I
cute.
really
Like,
liked
they're
how they
definitely
put it in
cute.
Bebop and Rocksteady. That I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it felt like they were doing their own thing while honoring the original, both like every incarnation of TMNT up to that point.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like it.
And that's what a good reboot should do. It should honor its past while doing its own thing. The only problem I have with TMNT is that the only problem I have with the 2012 reboot is that I don't think getting Craig Sipes to play Michelangelo was perfect. He really was
yeah.
perfect for the role. He was perfect. Like you couldn't have gotten perfect casting more than that.
I always
But
hear
he's
Beast
just-
Boy in his voice.
Yeah, you could hear it. It's really perfect. The whole surfer dude thing is perfect for him. My only problem is that he's more weird and random than funny and wisecracking.
Here's
That's my
another
only
thing I really like
problem.
about that Michelangelo. He actually gives names to the bad guys. The bad guys just don't name themselves. I thought it was a really clever twist.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't hate him. I just think when you think of Michelangelo, you think of a wisecracker. You think of the guy who's snappy and silly and and stuff like that and clever. This one's just weird and less funny. And I'm like, if you wrote it, and like I said, the 2003 version of Michelangelo was really funny. He was hilarious. But
I'll admit the voices to me are always like whenever I read them in the comic, I always like do the movie voices. Like those the definitive versions to me.
What are you guys' thoughts on the 2007 movie of TMNT?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was
Like
pretty
it was a
good.
good weird.
I
I just
actually
wish the
kind of liked
Shredder
that.
was
Like-
in it.
I don't remember. I think it felt like a very vanilla TMNT movie. Like very vanilla, not really a whole lot going for it, but not a whole lot it's not bad, it's just not a whole lot going for it,
It felt like a TV movie, like a really good TV movie, but a TV movie.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a theater
well,
release.
The studio
about
behind
that-
it was going to make another one, but they, I think it may have been a rights issue that was prevented from why it never got off the ground.
Oh yeah, they also ran into a lot of trouble during production. There's like the whole thing where they actually like lost the original version and they had to make it from the ground up again.
Oh,
Wait, that was the case?
Oh man.
Yeah, that actually happened to them.
Oh shit.
Oh man, that sucks.
So they're in the hole, like going in to make
Oh
to get
man,
theaters.
yeah.
And then animated stuff never does well in theaters. Like, look, Master of the Fantastic movie didn't do well.
I actually have a question. Did any of you guys watch that Turtles Forever TV special in like 2015, something like that?
Yeah, I remember
never
that. That
saw
was
it.
right.
No,
That
I
was
never
right
did.
before. That was right before Nickelodeon bought the rights for the TMNT, and so they like tried to go out with a bang and try to celebrate both the '80s version and the original comics. And
Yeah, that was
they tried to,
beautiful. I really
but
liked it.
the thing that I understand that a lot of people didn't like, and this is like a very valid complaint too, is that for the '80s Turtles, not only could they not get they couldn't get the original voice actors because of legal issues, but they also really had like this dumbed down version of them. They had Shredder trying to take over the world with a tickle ray,
A
and
tickle
the
ray.
turtles acted silly and stupid, and they ran away. And I was like, I'm not even a fan of the '80s Turtles, and I'm like, you guys really didn't understand the '80s Turtles.
That's messed up because like that was.
Yeah.
I don't think it was such a big part of my it
Oh
was
boy.
it dominated the toy shelf.
Like
Was it?
here's
That
the
series.
here's the thing. I love the 2003 Turtles, and even and I didn't grow up with the '80s version at all, and I still felt bad for the '80s version fans. I was like, yeah, they fucked you guys over.
It was 10
Didn't,
years. It lasted for 10 years. Like I said, it started in the 80s. I was like a fan of it during like the tail end of it in the 90s.
Didn't
Yeah.
the creators originally hate the '80s version though? Isn't that why they kind
They
of dumbed down the
really-
80s Turtle?
They really
I could see that.
they really they really did dumb it down in that version. Like, to be fair, something the 2012 version did do better, I will admit, is that they gave a better depiction and got the original voice actors back.
The thing
So-
is, and from what I've understood about the 80s, I only saw a little bit of the 80s TMT cartoon, but if you look at the original comics, that was more on the lines of the parodying the works of Frank Miller.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
look-
that was the whole
Yeah.
that was the whole thing. That was the whole point. The entire point was, this is a parody of Frank Miller. We're going to do a ridiculous, silly, over the top story, but take it completely seriously and play it up like a Frank Miller comic book. And
Wasn't
that's what they
Raphael
did.
the inspiration for Elektra? Actually,
I
from what I
kind of,
heard.
I think that the only thing that we got closest recently in terms of writing and content is that Batman crossover that the TMNT had.
That was actually shockingly pretty good. I liked that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I actually enjoyed that
Yeah.
myself.
That comic,
What- what-
I feel like that art, like the artist Freddie Williams, he always like props up whatever comic he's in. I think he's a beast.
yeah, like the TMNT Batman movie was shockingly pretty good. I didn't
never
expect
saw
all
the
the
movie.
I didn't expect all that blood and gore and all that
What?
shit in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I'm not kidding.
In
Like,
TMNT?
In TMNT
That is
versus
impressive.
Batman,
Oh, jeez.
dude, a guy gets a shuriken to the face, blood and everything from Shredder. Shredder is
Jesus.
no joke in that one.
I think they would have
Shredder
darkened up
actually
the
was
character
named
models
that
then.
one.
Then. Like that's kind
I
of
mean-
weird because
I
it
mean,
didn't
like,
really get
if-
that vibe off.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is
that's what threw me off. I was like, holy shit, we're too serious.
Th-
Well, like, they wanted this like Frank Miller Batman. That'd be again like the Frank Miller like looking turtles. I say Frank Miller, but like the old artist. They put in that kind of art style. I could see that. Getting you mentally prepared for that. But I was like, that's I gotta watch it now.
I mean,
Yeah, it's really good.
It's one of the first Turtles rodeo with having blood in their comics.
Did anybody watch the TMNT movie from like the 90s? Because I got an interesting fact to share with y'all.
I think it's the
I never saw it, but I know that the Jim Henson Company did those turtle costumes.
He didn't like it
Kinda
either.
knew
By the
it.
way,
Hey guys, give me a second. Give me a
yeah.
second.
Yes, sir.
I was gonna say, it's I think it's one of the best comic movies of all time. It's it's just I watch it like every year. It's the best.
I mostly remember the Turtles for just playing the Konami beat 'em up games.
Oh, those are great. Turtles in Time, especially.
I actually got a fun fact to share with you about that movie. You know Ernie Reyes Jr.?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, apparently he runs his own karate dojo, and I think me and my brothers actually went there when I was younger, or
Did
took
you
classes over
really?
there.
Huh.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, it was really weird. I didn't know who he was. I saw like the movie posters; they were like lined up, like three ninjas. I think I saw Team NT, and it didn't really click in with me until like when I got older, and I watched a movie, and he played that guy Kino. I thought, yo, this is the guy named after the karate dojo.
Wow, that
Sure.
actually was
That's
quick.
funny.
That's actually
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, so wow, that is small world. Then again, he grew up in San Jose apparently.
Oh
so.
man.
But yeah, if there's any
look-
takeaway
I'm-
here, watch TMNT from the '90s. The '90s movie
Watch
is great.
watch all the TMNTs. Watch any TMNT
watched-
comic content. you
Oh,
can.
I was gonna ask that. Have any of you watched the new one? I haven't watched it, but people keep saying it's
Like-
a must watch.
The
Here's the
Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja
Wow.
Turtles, whatever.
The rise of Team Mutant. Here's the thing, though. A lot of people are probably going to tell you it's really good. It's just the animation. And
That's what
that's
I'm
it.
feeling.
It's
That's
a
all they ever
style.
talk
It's a
about.
style over substance show. And here's the
Oh,
thing.
that sucks.
That
Aw.
sucks because you don't see good animated 2D shit, and it's really sad when
Yeah,
it's like
like it's really good. It's on par. It's on par with like Studio Trigger type shit. And I'm like, it looks really good, but like here's the thing. Like here's the problems. There's a bunch of problems. One, it's trying to be this overly silly, overly quirky, overly self-aware. Basically, every
Aw.
cartoon from the modern age type deal.
Oh man, I
That's
kinda
why
hate
it's got
that trend.
that's why it's got such a big following on Twitter and stuff because people do like the whole look how silly and quirky it is, and I'm like,
I will say whenever they show me like
tired
whenever they
of
show me a
that.
comedy part, I'll be like,
silly and
oh,
quirky?
that's
I only saw one clip of it, and I can't give my much thoughts on it. But there was actually there was actually a pretty cool sequence where some of the bad guys broke out into song, which I will say, which was that's very well orchestrated out, to be honest.
But
well,
at least they did that one.
I'm not saying it's not good. It's just like this feels like something that's not like here's the thing. If it feels like a Teen Titans Go situation. If it was its own thing, it would be fine. But it's
At least the creators. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, it's the fact that why make this reboot if you're gonna make it if you're not going why make a TMNT reboot if you're not going to make it feel like a TMNT show? What's the point if you're gonna do something completely different?
I guess that's kind of how
that's kind of what I got to when I first found out about that Mega Man cartoon from like a while ago.
Oh, that show was ugly looking.
Oh fuck that.
Yeah, like I was all hyped up for it, and then I realized
which Mega Man cartoon?
It was like fully charged or whatever. It was the one where Mega Man has like battle armor now.
It was the 3D.
I don't know.
It looked ugly. That's all I gotta say about it.
Oh god,
Fireman
that one.
Thick.
They tried making Mega Man into like a Max Steel kind of situation when he's not. He's a robot dude, and it pissed me off.
I just want my Mega Man cartoon. I don't want. It's weird. Every animated thing of Mega Man is always bad. You had X4 with bad voice acting. You had the cutscenes from 8 with bad voice acting.
I'm gonna say type in real quick and say that's a localization thing. The voice acting wasn't nearly as bad in the Japanese one.
Wait,
okay, all right.
Here's a question. That's a Mega Man related question. If all previous attempts of bringing Mega Man into animation failed, why couldn't they just get the creators just to be like creative consultants for any of these projects?
I think
will
Keiichi
say
Inafune didn't really want to be with Mega Man anymore during that time.
Mighty Number 9 cartoon.
Oh god,
right.
Didn't like the original creator like leave over some shit like something like that, and that's how we got like Mighty Number 9 or some shit like.
Yeah, he tried to kickstart that, and while during the Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter, he tried kickstarting Red Ash, which was a Legends clone, basically.
That was one of the only things I have ever felt where my heart just sank after realizing how bad Mighty Number 9 is.
Talk about shooting
I
yourself
couldn't
in the
even finish
foot,
it.
huh, fellas?
I got like an hour in. I was like, oh, this is boring. I can just play. There's a bunch of these games like this I could play. Like, you can play like all of the Mega Man games. There's 2000XX is amazing. I definitely recommend that.
You know a good Mega Man clone you guys should try?
What?
Gunvolt. Azure Striker Gunvolt. That is awesome. I love that game.
I recommend Gunvolt.
That's someone, yeah.
Good Mega Man X clone, apparently.
See, there's plenty of things taking up the slack on this department.
Oh, grapes.
No, I can't say this. There has been one, and I'm pretty sure only one good Mega Man show, and that was the Battle Network anime.
It was fine.
Ooh, I gotta watch that.
I only have some memories of that.
For a Saturday,
I have a nice memory about that actually. About that cartoon.
For Saturday morning, it was pretty good.
Isn't that the one that
I
had the
think it
V-Cod?
came out like when I was a little bit too old for it. I think that's the problem. But I think I could definitely see how if I was like around that time coming up, though, I would have got into it.
You mind if I share this really nice memory I have of the Battle Network series?
Sure.
Go right ahead.
I remember when I was like 4 or 5, I got into a car crash, and I was in a hospital, and I remember my family getting me toys of Mega Man Battle Network. Like I got Mega Man EXE, Pro Man EXE, and I think Gyro Man? I can't remember. But I don't know, that's what really got me engaged in the Mega Man franchise, and I don't know what I think about Mega Man if that didn't happen. So yeah, I really gotta play the Battle Network games one day.
Those are great. They're fun. They're really fun.
I really love the designs to Battle Network, especially something like Elecman. That's just a really cool look.
I just remember like they rebooted all the designs in general.
Yeah, they pretty much just were like they're just like, oh, we got Flashman EXE, and they were they're really sleek looking though. I do like their versions usually.
Zero X from my favorite.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where'd Slim go?
Slim?
Oh, I'm right here. I know almost nothing about fucking Mega Man, so I'm just sitting here.
Play
No, you gotta go ahead.
I only have one memory of the...
I know. Like I know about the whole Mighty Number 9 controversy and stuff like that, but like I have not played a Mega. I've never really legit. I played a few Mega Man games, but I've never like legit played them.
Really
actually,
I mean, there's a lot of filler ones, but because they just they're just like, oh yeah, what should we put out this year? Let's put another Mega Man out, make 8 more dudes and go.
But there's a
lot of good ones.
There's like 6 series of Mega Mans, and then there's like about a dozen spin-offs and arcade games and shit like that.
Mega Man Soccer, apparently.
I feel very sorry for I feel very sorry for anyone who funded for Mighty Number 9.
I do.
God. Especially when the Kickstarters didn't go through. Burning Exeter asks a question: are all the bad Mega Man animations at least funny bad? I watched.
I was gonna say the '90s one's amazing. You should definitely watch it. If you're gonna watch something for terribleness, that's what you should watch.
Yeah, I remember watching a couple of episodes on it online, and I just really didn't like how they made Mega Man like this sort of buff '90s
they're all
cartoon
buff.
hero.
Yeah, they're all buff. Even Roll's buff.
Roll like realistic at least. I was like, I get that was like the style back then, but it just doesn't fit. I get reminded of like the Mega Man box art where he's like holding a gun.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's why it's funny.
The realistic Mega Man, as I call it.
I don't know.
Wasn't like Mega Man like proportions of Astro Boy or something?
Like, see,
no, not that much.
Astro Boy didn't
really?
inspire Mega Man though.
like there are 2 variations of the first Mega Man when it came to the Japanese box art, and one kind of was Astro Boy-ish a little in my eyes. But I can't say the Mega Man 90s cartoon pissed me off because they gave it to Ruby Spears, and if you saw the marketing demo for it, it looked fucking so much better than anything Ruby Spears ever made.
Well, I mean, that's something you kind of have to expect in general, where it's like the marketing material just looks better than the actual cartoon. I've noticed this.
But they had to switch animation teams, and that just pissed me off so much.
I was too young to notice, like when I was a kid. If like I went back to it as an adult, and I was like, wait, I'm liking this, but for a whole new reason, like Batman and
this
Robin.
ain't right, Chief.
Like-
Batman, like Batman and Robin as an adult, it's a whole different experience. When I was a kid, I used to like genuinely love that movie, and now I'm just now I'm just looking at George, George Clooney not caring at all, looking at his eyes, not caring.
George Clooney never
I-
cares because he's always playing
Conti-
George Clooney and everything.
Sometimes it'll work if people can get him to play George
Even,
Clooney the best of his ability.
like-
He'll be the best George Clooney, though.
Like when he's playing when he's playing in Ocean's 11, he's great because he's just George Clooney.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Fantastic Mr. Fox, that's a great movie. He's just
Oh,
he's
yeah.
just George Clooney as a fox.
Yes. I feel like in speaking of that, I feel like
Yeah.
in a Zootopia, it felt like Jason Bateman was kind of doing a George Clooney impression at certain points. I feel like.
Michael Bay making a Mega Man movie sounds like the perfect storm disaster. Oh God!
Oh no, Bateman.
no.
No, Michael Bay. Keep Michael Bay away from anything, please. That's all I'm asking of you. I am
Don't
sick
you
of
dare
that
touch
guy's
my
movie.
Mega Man.
Michael Bay is overhated, but he really does need to like just when he's doing his own thing, he's fine.
I like
Just let him do
I-
his own thing, he's fine.
Bad
I-
Boys 2 is awesome.
I can agree with that.
I mean, I don't
Michael
hate the
Bay-
guy. It's just that if you actually look at some of the stuff that he's done, which a majority of the stuff he's done is based off of intellectual IPs from the 80s. Do I even need to explain all those negative comments that were coming up when how uncanny the Turtles looked back when the first trailer came out?
They look like Battletoads.
Yeah, they really did.
You want what the funny thing is? I actually joked that it was a Battletoads movie. That's how
Oh
they
God!
looked.
You know what I want if there is a Battletoads movie? I want it to be so long that there's an intermission, and during that intermission, it just plays like the pause theme. You know when you
I don't know. It
Ah,
could work. It really depends.
To be
I don't
fair,
know.
they actually did try bringing the Battletoads to animation at one point.
I'm sure they did. So like probably in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it was-
right. I actually,
everyone tried to get a cartoon in the 90s, okay?
Yeah. Like
just
Savage Dragon had a cartoon. What does that tell you?
I actually know
Bubsy
someone
had a
who worked
cartoon.
on. I actually know someone who actually worked on the Battletoads cartoon, but he doesn't like to talk about it that much. He even did do some of the animation for it too.
that's actually cool.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, it is pretty cool, but execution-wise, this was basically screams that this was 290s, even for me. I get that the cartoon was produced in the 90s, but is that really an excuse just to have your characters be like totally tubular? Yeah,
I mean, like that
It
was kind of
ages
like
like
the
milk.
point. That was kind of like the point of it, though. Back
Yeah.
then, everyone was trying to be the Turtles. You can't really blame them for trying to trace the trend. Now, to be fair, like the original games are actually really good. If you're playing by yourself, of course, or playing the arcade version. But like 2 players, awful. But the point is. The point is, like, Battletoads is a really good game. If you're looking for that.
That's always the mistranslation that usually happens with video games for like when they try and bring it over. It's like most of what people like about video games is surprisingly the gameplay. And like we don't really like no one really cares what Samus is really. No one cares who Samus is really. We just care that she shoots things and turns into a morphball.
there was actually at one point someone wanted to make a live-action movie of Metroid.
Wouldn't that
It
just be
wasn't-
Alien though? Isn't
Yes,
that just
exactly.
Alien?
Well, it's Alien
Yeah,
but
like,
stupid.
that's
Yes.
the point.
That would be like even more blockbustery movie than Alien 2. I mean, like more gunslinger.
I don't
think
know what became
I don't
of
think
it,
Metroid should be a
but
movie.
Like people said they. I remember somebody said make Brie Larson Samus. I'm like, no,
Her
No,
costume in
God.
Captain Marvel actually really reminded me of Samus, like the first costume. I'm not
Who would
gonna
even-
lie.
Who would you even cast for?
I don't
Samus?
even know. You'd have to get someone unknown, really, because I mean, who is Samus? That's another question. The closest we ever got to
Like-
answering that was Other M, and no one likes that one.
No one
Here's the
likes
sad
that one
reality.
because no one likes that. No one likes Other M because they made her into kind. They made her into kind of a like. Kind of
Subservient.
made her into a like an over like basically. Team Ninja does not do female characters well to an extent.
You don't say. I don't know if people get
Yeah.
mad at this because, like, oh, it's like you don't just like they're sexy. I'm like, no, I just think they make
They
hunks of
just-
wood. They make hunks of
They
wood.
just they just. But like, here's the thing: they don't like. They're not like Team Ninja should never try to take themselves seriously because
I
they
kinda
don't
like-
make
I will say I kind of liked how Ryu was super serious and like in the way of all that, but like I don't know, the stories were never that important. They should never be that much of a focus. They're the last one to make the definitive story of like of the first story of Samus. It should not have been like where she speaks. It shouldn't have been like shouldn't have been them.
If I had to do
This basically
If I-
sounded like This basically sounded like a fresh idea that was on paper, but it did not face a good execution.
And it's like also the gameplay was kind of stilted because they were using the Wiimote. They had like a full like actual
Oh.
controller to do big because like they were trying to do like kind of Ninja Gaiden stuff with her a little bit. I'm not gonna say like super to that level, but she could like
the best
grab people out of the
the
air, and pull
best-
them out and stuff.
the best Metroid game of all time is Metroid Prime.
That's
Like,
the first
no
person
joke.
shooter one, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the one
Yeah.
where it's SAX and she like takes the form of Samus, right? That one?
I think so. Yeah, that's
man, I
that's
gotta-
the best one.
I like Zero
Um,
Mission. That's my favorite.
Burning
Somewhat.
Burning Exeter says like a good Metroid movie would have a director James Gunn.
I
I
could
don't
totally
think I-
see that.
No, I don't see James Gunn doing that because
I'd be
Like,
okay
James
with that.
Gunn's
James
too-
more comedic.
It needs to be. It's gonna need to be a little bit slocky. I just feel like if they're gonna do it, if you're gonna, I don't feel like you have to do a Ninja Gaiden, not a Ninja Gaiden movie, a Metroid movie for the record. But if you're gonna do it, it might as well be just slocky. And I feel like you'd give that to the people.
I'm just like
Here's
I'm
a
just
fun
like
fact of
I'm
trivia
just
for you. Originally, at one point, James Gunn was offered to write and direct the animated Ratchet and Clank movie, but he turned it down.
Probably for good reason. To be
Oh,
honest, I think he'd be a good fit for
probably
that.
like honestly the guy like probably the best guys to do a Ratchet and Clank movie in my personal opinion would be Lord and Miller, the guys who had the Lego movie and Spider-Verse.
Oh,
Those guys would be
those
probably
guys-
best.
Oh, those guys,
Would
those
probably
that would
I
Probably-
think that'd work.
I would have been game with for that.
That seems like
No.
something
Yeah,
right
actually,
up their
yeah,
alley.
the more I'm thinking about, it, yeah, they'd be really good.
now you guys want me to give you a sad idea on the fact of a Metroid movie? You want to know who would be Samus?
Who?
In modern
Who?
times, Brie Larson would be casted
It
as
probably
Samus.
would be her. God damn it!
Whoa.
I would. It'd be.
Yeah,
it'd be okay.
they-
I'd be like,
wanna-
okay.
They want to they do this thing where they say we want to make Samus serious because the first time you saw Samus, she was technically in a bikini, and I'm like, it was a sprite, dude. Come on, no one
who-
remembers that.
I don't know.
Thinking about it.
Fun
who's
fact:
this
she actually
person
helped
you-
out. She helped pick out that outfit in Suicide Squad. I'm gonna just point that out there. She helped pick out both of those outfits. So it's like it's not. It's. I don't think it's exactly her. I think she's influenced. I'm gonna be honest. I think she's influenced by whoever she's around. Probably. It seems like.
Who are you talking about, Brie Larson or Samus?
Brie Larson. That's what I'm
Brie
talking about.
Lawson.
I
haven't-
heard
Harley
this
Quinn.
woman.
Brie Larson, she was in the Room adaptation, right? Room the
Oh
movie.
yeah, she was also in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. But I
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I'm thinking Harley Quinn. That actress.
Oh, you mean Margaret Robbie?
Yeah, I actually think she'd be an okay choice for Samus.
Oh,
You know,
hold
with-
on,
with
guys.
the right-
I'm
with
going
the
to
right
step out for a
director.
moment. I just need to get a drink.
Go for it.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll be right back.
I would mute. Yeah. Anyway, like I think did you guys hear about the woman who's like the people behind the new Ratchet and Clank game, about who's directing it, about
Who's
who's
that?
like the main
Who?
writer. I don't know her name, but she was that one chick who wrote who claimed that she was like I forgot her name. Because I remember I was like being optimistic about it, but then Edgy came out like Edgy Penguin. You guys know who he is, right?
No.
Where Edgy
Edgy
Penguin.
yeah.
Yeah. He told me something. I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. And he told me like she's a very interesting person. She's the one who said she was how do I put this? She was violated in GTA 5 and wanted them to do something about it.
Oh,
And then
what?
she got a
What?
job. Yeah, and then she
I
got a
heard
job
that.
through her boyfriend. And then like she worked on Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh no, her.
And then like she was one of the writers, and then apparently she was one of the writers of the Spider-Man of the new Spider-Man game, right? Specifically, I think she wrote like Mary Jane.
Or those like consistently the most hated parts of the game.
Oh,
Whatever.
man, that
I
was
mean,
really
it's not like I
bad
was gonna
luck
play the game
with the
anyways.
writing
And probably at best I was gonna just watch the Let's
Oh,
Play of
yeah.
the game. So who cares?
See, Slim, that doesn't give me a
Sam-
good thing because I remember on Twitter
like,
there was like,
her name's Sam Maggs, and she's the lead writer for
Oh
the new
boy.
Ratchet and Clank game.
Oh boy.
And apparently she also did like the mocap for Black
So
Cat.
it's her. Oh
And,
no.
like, you know how people said
That's
like
funny.
Black Cat looked really weird and really like looked really like odd, like she
Yeah,
that's her. She did the mocap for that.
that's funny.
Jesus
I don't really
Christ.
care. I really don't care too much because
But,
I'll
like-
say I like speculating on this game, but I really I'm not gonna buy a PS5. From one thing I'm hearing, it's like $700.
What?
I'm not buying.
Oh no!
What?
And like I want to
I'm
know
not
people's
buying
No!
anything that looks like it did max damage in a Final Fantasy game. No, thank you.
No,
Like-
that's too much out of my budget.
No,
like
no, that's
I
not.
want
That's
to
too
know. I want to
much.
know the excuses
That's too much.
people have.
Period. You
Just
should
like-
not pay. You should not pay more. Here's my way of thinking. A new game system should not cost more than $300. In
No
my
PC, my
personal
dude.
opinion.
That's all I gotta say.
That's-
Like, if you're gonna pay $700 for a console, buy a PC.
Yeah, just buy a P. Like
Might as
I'm
well.
not paying
It's also a
$700
PC, by the way. It's also a PC.
Like- because you gotta
I'm
take
not-
in the fact that I gotta purchase games. I gotta
exactly.
I gotta get all this other shit. It's a new game system should not cost more than $300, maybe $400, but not $700.
For crying
That's
out
the
loud.
bullshit.
They're like
For crying out
protect
loud,
my
that's
house from, like
that's-
intruders or something like that.
that
if
that's
I'm
a
having to
budget
pay.
of. I mean, $700 sounds like it would cover rent for like maybe 2.5 months.
Oh, not in my
Yeah,
neighborhood. No,
yeah.
not in my neighborhood.
Well, that depends on the neighborhood, of course.
In my
yeah.
neighborhood, yeah, that's 2.5 months of rent right there. That
I'm not-
really is.
So I'm not far off then.
That PS5 better do something like crazy. Otherwise, I'm not
Okay,
buying
here's
it.
my thing. The only way I was ever gonna buy it is if it'd be way after the fact, and if they were actually gonna make like they were originally talking about how there's gonna be playing other game like PlayStation discs. If it played all the way back to like
yeah.
PS, if it went all the way back to PS1.
Backwards compatibility all the way back.
That'd be convenient for me because I like playing my PS2 games and stuff. But if I could just have it on one place, that'd be amazing.
That would have been crazy if it could do that. But I imagine it would have only costed even more, which I'm afraid.
I don't understand how. Just put an emulator on there.
Honestly,
Like,
I would
I
only
think they
buy
understand.
it if we get backwards compatibility to both PS2, PS3, and PS4. That's the only reason I would buy it. But if we're not getting it, no sale for me.
Yeah, it's because I'm saying like, I mean, I can also just play PS2 games on my PC. It's another win, really.
I mean, hey, I've been emulating Dreamcast games lately, so
It's been great. Oh, those are great, especially like for fighting games.
oh yeah, definitely. And
So,
those weird shit games that you can never get because they're expensive as fuck.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I've been playing
well,
Soccer Wars recently too. It's and like
oh,
it just got an English patch like not too long ago.
Nice.
here's something I want to bring up to you guys. It's sort of related to what Slim wanted to talk about before we dived into the PS5 topic. It's
Oh yeah, go for it.
okay. How many of you guys played or heard of the video game Epic Mickey?
I have.
I
I played that game
I
before.
I played a little bit. I didn't know
I
not much.
remember it, and I played a little bit of it.
I listened to
like
like some of the boss and saw like some of the boss battles and stuff. It looks really good.
All right, here's the thing. There's a rumor flying that the first two games are getting the remastered treatment, similar to how Crash Bandicoot and Spyro got their remasters.
That'd be
It's not
great.
even that old.
I wouldn't be. I would be
It's what,
for it
like
because
10
it's
years?
Let
I'd
me
be for it because it'd be on normal people's controls. I hate that. I hate the Wiimote. I always I liked it for like the first few months, and I was like, this is kind of terrible for games.
actually
See,
Slim. The game is nearly 10 years old.
dang.
Yeah, like
That still feels way too young for like a straight up remat. Like
didn't
when
the
I
last
think
of
of
Us get a
something,
remaster?
Well,
Around
I
that
don't look
time?
at it this way. It's a
it's
play.
not like when I mean like when I say like when I say like a remaster, I mean like from the ground up, like SpongeBob Rehydrated, Battle for Bikini Bottom. I want to get that because that's from like 2003, 2004 type shit, and I'm gonna play the hell out of that because they're basically like redoing everything. But like Epic Mickey's about only like 10 years old as opposed to almost 20, and I'm like, that feels a little. That feels a little. It feels a little.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Why I think it could be possibly happening because Disney has recently got some merch that's coming out that's based off of Epic Mickey because there's a Funko Pop actually has a shirt that they haven't released a release date yet, but someone actually got some leaked info about it, and it was a shirt that has the Funko Pop heads of Mickey and Oswald,
That's bizarre.
and there's
Okay.
also a hoodie that's has Mickey on it. That has one of the areas based off of the game. That's from France.
Hmm.
I mean, so I
Oh,
don't know.
the areas in
I
France.
mean,
Okay.
See, I'm cool with the Epic Mickey remake. I just wanted to keep the aesthetic the games had. Those
I
kind
feel like
of
it's gonna be a
darky.
remaster. Like they'll just remaster it probably. I bet, and they'll make a big deal about it.
I honestly want to give this the wait and see approach. I mean, like I enjoyed Epic Mickey Icky and its sequel, but it really feels like it did not live up to its potential and what it could have achieved. But at the same time, I enjoyed it a lot more compared to say Kingdom Hearts.
I
I
like
could
Kingdom
never
Hearts.
get into Kingdom Hearts. That is
It's
wow.
it's
I-
anime bullshit, but with Disney stuff.
Well,
I mean, yeah, I know it's like
here's the thing
half
about Kingdom Hearts. If you actually look at the very first Kingdom Hearts title, this was actually the first time where you saw the Disney characters actually look like themselves in the 3D the environment compared to the Disney's other attempts of bringing their animated characters to CG, which could be said for the early technology not working well, but at the same time, when Kingdom Hearts was out, Disney was slowly stepping their foot into CG with a little help from Pixar, but Disney was not sure how to do this, so Square actually said, "Okay, Disney, this is cute. but leave the 3D stuff to us pros. And I wouldn't be
Like
surprised.
here's the thing about Kingdom Hearts. Here's the thing I learned pretty early on with Kingdom Hearts is if you don't take it seriously, you'll have a great time. If you
Yeah,
just
that's-
enjoy the fan service and if you just enjoy the gameplay, which is really good, then you'll have a great time. But
I just
it,
I can't take it seriously in general because of like me mentioning Sephiroth and like Goofy in like the same sentence.
But that's the
I
best
can't help but
part.
laugh.
That's
that's
the
what
best
makes
part.
it good.
know.
It's so stupid.
For granted, it's a nice balance between the animated characters and the SquareSoft Enix anime characters. But other than that, the plot is just a mess.
That's also
Like
the best part.
here's the best way to do it. Here's the best way to describe the plot. The creator of it wanted to like do a trick on ice skates, right? And he pulled it off very well the first time. And then he tried to do something more technical and he fell flat on his face. And then he keeps trying to do the technical moves and trying to prove that he can do something well done. He's getting more and more bruises, losing more and more teeth. His face is more and more bloody until he finally lands it with the game, and we're only clapping out of obligation. That's kind of how Kingdom Hearts plot works out. It technically comes together, but at the end of the day, we're just clapping because he's not hurting himself anymore.
To be
I mean, it's like I will say the plot lines, like all the weird twisty things, they actually do have cohesive. Like it actually all makes sense, but it's also just convoluted for the sake of being convoluted.
Exactly. Like you could like honest to God, if it just had the three games, Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories to Kingdom Hearts 2, it would have been solid, honestly. People would like it would have been a solid Kingdom Hearts 2 was a solid ending to the franchise. It ended right there.
It really should have
But
been, to be honest.
yeah, but then like it did like but there's more. There's the entire legend of Keyblade, a Keyblade War, and I'm like, did anybody ask
Make
for
it
this?
even more complicated.
honestly,
No, here's the worst thing about this game, like the games to me though, is the fact they broke them up on all a bunch of different consoles, and then like all the fans now will be like, so oh, you can play them all right now, just get all the 2.8 whatever, and you can play all the games and that thing now. I'm like, it's like okay, you know you're asking people to do right. You're asking them to put 200 hours of their lives into getting to this plot. That come on, man, it's not actually that good. Even if you like you
Then
you
they
can
want
I
you
mean,
to
like
go-
here's the
I
thing.
understand like it a lot. It's just not
oh
good.
Christ, oh Christ, I think I'm gonna start a flame war.
Here's
I'm not
here's the
doing
thing.
the flame war.
No. Here's the thing about Kingdom Hearts 2. Here's the thing about Kingdom Hearts. We all agree it's stupid. That's the thing. We all
Yeah, we
agree
do.
it's
We do.
stupid.
Yes, it
Here's
is.
the
I
thing
like
though.
stupid things.
The thing about it is like you can't go in with the serious. You like the characters. The characters are likable.
like Disney
you get
characters.
the Disney and like the original characters are fine. But like you're like, come on, dude, are you really asking us to take this shit seriously?
It's
I-
That's
like
the best part. I love how they're because you know if like an American studio did Kingdom Hearts, it'd be like super ironic and stuff, and that'd be way worse if you ask me.
Oh no.
yeah, like when the Japanese people doing it and they're taking the story seriously. And the best part about all this is like Kingdom Hearts actually asked you, in order to understand the plot, you have to play every game in the franchise. I'm not kidding. Even the shitty mobile game they passed off, there's story
Mobile game is canon?
information.
It's
that you
canon,
need
yes.
to under-
You know, you get,
I'm
you know,
not.
Are you
I'm
kidding
not
me?
kidding.
you know what could have been easier than rather than cram in more unwanted games? If they actually went with a comic book route for this.
They
Yeah.
did. They had a manga too.
Say,
Whoa! Calm down,
I like-
Slim. I didn't know that.
The manga's all right. It's there were some funny jokes in there. Like I liked they're actually doing some pretty like clever things. Like when they go to the Chain of Memories tower, he was just like he got there. It's like you mean I lost all my skills. So if I do my dodge roll, it's just a regular roll.
What?
He's just,
Repeat that?
he's kind of like, yeah, kid, sure.
Yeah, that was funny.
I could
Oh
say
yeah,
the only-
and there is something Kingdom Hearts related though that I have to share, which Disney has announced that there will be an animated show that will be coming to Disney Plus based off of Kingdom
I
Hearts.
wish that would have been out
Please
earlier,
no.
to be honest with you.
they
Yeah,
are
if it
like
happens, if it happens,
that's
10 years late.
Well,
that,
here
that doesn't sound very good, honestly.
it's
It's
going to
gonna
be
be
all
terrible.
CG.
I think, honest to God, you should just watch the cutscenes from the games. You'll get a better experience.
Probably.
Well, here's
Might
the
as
thing.
well.
It's not a
Well,
good
here's the
experience.
here's the thing, Slim. After the first game, there was talk for an animated show based off of Kingdom Hearts, off of the first
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I know, I know all about that. There was a Disney Vault.
much?
There's a little snippet in there where there's some stuff that was gonna be used for a Kingdom Hearts series. I don't heard about all that. I'm just like, it feels like one of the thing. It just feels like one of those things that doesn't really need to happen at this point.
At
Like,
this
it
point
seems
now, I don't want.
meaningless.
And I'm gonna be honest. I just don't trust a lot of these. I can't think of a studio I'd really trust too much for that.
Well, has there been any good CG animated studios that do CG for TV shows to handle a project like this?
Oh,
best-
I mean,
I was gonna
would it either be
say,
CGI? If it's CGI, that's even worse. If you ask me, because that's like at
I was
least
gonna
like
say,
with a TV, like a
um,
TV show, like if it's like 2D, they'd be like a whole different look to it to justify it
The
in my
only-
eyes.
The only good TV show that was CGI that comes to my mind was Code Lyoko.
But
Can
wasn't
we-
that a mix? Wasn't that a mix of 2D and CG though?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like the only two good CGI, the best CGI shows
Reboot.
that I remember was Jimmy Neutron. I still think the animation for that show holds up.
Oh,
I didn't like the
Jesus.
Jimmy
character
Neutron's pretty
designs.
cool.
I'm gonna be honest. I think came in a little bit too late on that one too. So I was like, I never really got. I like. There's some funny episodes, but just like it never was like my shit.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
but
get
I'm,
into
but I'm saying
Neutron.
from like an animation perspective, even by like modern animated standards, it's not bad for a show, for a TV show, for a TV animated show to be fully CGI. It's not bad.
I just never liked the character design, so I think that's the one thing that's kind of like holding
Yeah,
me back in my mind.
everybody has a big head, or I think
Yeah.
that's just Jimmy.
it's fair.
If
Yeah,
there's
they
one
would
thing-
they would joke about that. They'd be like, "You all have big heads, though. What are you talking about?"
If there's one thing I
Like-
dislike about Jimmy Neutron is the fact that the main character is unlikable.
I thought here's
Yeah.
the thing. I
He
don't
wasn't.
think I don't.
None of the
I don't-
characters really were. If you ask me, that's another big problem.
I mean-
Honestly,
Lily and Carl were probably my favorite.
I did
I-
not like the only character I didn't like in Jimmy Neutron, like legitimately didn't like, who had like I didn't like Carl. I
He
really
annoyed the
didn't
shit
like
out of me. I
Carl.
think that's a big problem. That was actually that was another big a big thing that held back. And he'd just be like kind of like he had that nasally voice and stuff. And I could see how people would like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. This is not me telling anybody not to like it.
That's the biggest. That's the biggest black pill I've seen, Jimmy.
I
But,
do
like,
like.
here's
Oh, you watch Honey Plays?
Sometimes I
Like
used
here's
to.
Yeah.
here's the thing. The reason I don't like Carl is because A, his voice, B, the fact that like he acts like this sweet kid, right? But in reality, he's just an asshole, like a selfish ass. Watch any episode surrounding him, he'll end up being a selfish asshole.
Not to mention,
And
Maybe
then
I'm not
he'll-
looking at it from that.
allergic to like everything in that one
Maybe I'm not looking
episode.
from that angle. I probably haven't watched it as an adult. I'll say so. Maybe if I saw it as an adult, I'd probably like it a little bit more because I do like shows where all the cast are like, unlikable douchebags.
To be fair,
And
I don't like.
but like
Jimmy-
the best character in Jimmy Neutron's Hugh, though. He's the best character. I don't care what anyone says. He's fucking amazing.
The
The
dad.
dad in the show. The dad in the show
Yeah.
is fucking hilarious.
Now,
That
I'll
was the
give
best. Yeah,
Carl,
I agree.
I'll give Carl this. He's got the balls to go after Jimmy's mom.
Okay, she actually is kind of hot though. I'll say that. She gets worked
She
up.
looks like she has like so much Botox. Done so much work done.
They will find it kind of funny that in cartoons they always make the mom a little more attractive than all the other characters.
It's
I
a
think
proud
that's a golden
Western
rule.
tradition. Thank you.
It's a golden rule, my
I'm not saying
friend.
it's bad.
A
Like,
proud heritage.
but also
Actually,
like the best animated, like the best 2D, like 3D animated show done for TV was actually back. I guess we're going back to this. The 2012 Turtle show. That was actually really
Yeah.
well animated.
I'm gonna take a bold choice and say Reboot's the best one. Not because it looks good.
Mhm.
I mean, Reboot is more along the lines of it was groundbreaking rather than it looked good.
Yeah, I know. I actually will say it because I've watched commentary and they talked about how they didn't even have they didn't even understand how to do the principle of animation into 3D yet. But I think the story is really good though. I think that's
Yeah,
what
like
pushes
people
back.
praise it for the story rather than the animation.
Yeah.
Actually,
But
genuine
still,
question: was there an actual reboot game?
Yes, there was. It wasn't good. It's on PS1.
you're talking about
Uh,
Reboot the cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't there a reboot of Reboot that's on
No,
Netflix?
it was actually a sequel. It was
It
actually
was
a
that-
sequel to Reboot. Thank you. It
I
was
could have
terrible.
sworn. I could
It
have
was the
sworn
wor-
that there was at one point a reboot of Reboot at one point, wasn't that?
No,
yeah,
there's
wasn't it like
Same here.
live action? Wasn't it like live action or something?
yes. It was the worst Code Lyoko live action. Is what I would
Yeah,
describe it as.
Code Lyoko went from a what many people consider a reboot ripoff to now being ripped off by Reboot.
Yeah, it's weird, and then it's because the plot, like the way the plot structure was, it was a lot like Code Lyoko, minus the intrigue and even like I said, there's even a live action Code Lyoko sequel. It looks better than it, and it was like 3 years before.
You know
now
something
that-
weird.
now that we're talking-
I never got into Code Lyoko.
Oh, you
It
should watch
came
it.
out. I keep hearing people say it's really really good, and I take their word
It's
for it. But I
decent, from what I
never.
remember.
But It
got
was
good
a show that I was. It was a show that I was aware of but I never sat down and watched it. Basically,
All I remember
Gonna
about
let you
was
in a
that
secret, though. It's on YouTube for free. That's all I'm gonna say.
A lot of
Oh.
things are on YouTube for free, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah,
I
it's
will-
legal and free.
I remember
Spe-
seeing some ads for it on Cartoon Network, but it really did not interest me at the time. I mean, it would have it. Am I the only one who was put off by the fact that it looked like a Japanese anime imitation?
It was actually made
Yeah.
in France.
I
Yeah.
know that it was made in
Surprisingly.
France, but there's the thing. I'm not that big into imitation. Either go for the
Oh,
real
yeah, I
thing,
understand.
or
He's got his own art style. I will straight up say it doesn't feel like it's a fake. If you look at his art, he also made Oban Star Racers.
who was the guy?
Thomas Romaine.
Thomas Romaine. I gotta look that up. See.
Actually, no,
Burning
sorry.
Expo.
you know a show I did watch a lot at that time though. It came like I remember seeing like commercials for it too, and like seeing like parts of it too, right? But
Mhm.
like the show that I like, the like quote unquote obscure show that I grew up with was Shaolin Showdown. That was the show that I grew up with.
I like
was a
that one
pretty
too.
great
You know,
I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did.
Nobody
Clay
watched
or
So
Cyber
Moon
Six.
confused
were
why they
probably my favorite.
rebooted it as in like the mid 2010s.
It wasn't actually a reboot; it was a sequel as well. But it's
No,
It
it was a mess. No one knew what it was trying to be. It was trying to be a reboot and a sequel at the same time, and it failed at both.
speaking of CGI too. The CGI was awful. They changed all the Shaolin showdowns to CGI.
Yeah,
and it
like
just looked
they
ass.
like they and they
They had a
and they pretty
CGI
much
version?
and they made it basically like just made it trying to make it look like Tron for some reason.
Yeah, why are they in
Yeah.
Tron outfits when they went into the world? Like in the Shaolin Showdown, it made no sense.
And then like they had like a little younger version of Omi for some like it made
getting-
no sense.
Omi's
Yeah,
I
already
don't know
younger
why.
isn't
They
he?
need to get the younger, cuter one with glasses. Okay, it's what the kids want. And also
I
they had to
agree.
replace most of the voice cast because it was a
Yeah.
Canadian production, and they have a law to where they have to have a certain amount of Canadians in it. So like all of them got dumped except for like Tara Reid,
Tara Strong.
Tara Strong. Man, I'm bad with names. Okay.
Yeah, like
So
she
wait,
Um,
like
Canadian-
Tara Strong was the only one who was. I think she was the only one who came back, which is a shame because like the original show had a really good voice cast.
Yeah, like you can't
Like
replace
they
Jack
had,
Splicer.
they had,
That's
they
not-
had, they had Jeff Bennett. They had Tom Kenny. They
Whoa.
and this wasn't Tom Kenny doing his traditional voice. He actually sounded like a teenager.
Damn.
Yeah, he did. He was Raimundo. They had Wayne Knight in there as as Dojo. He was like the best part of the show.
Dojo was the dragon, right? The little
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was the dragon,
he
and
was
he was
the better
Wayne Knight.
Mushu.
like the Moosh. Yeah, Mushu.
He was way like
He
I
was
was
the- he
expecting
was
him to be annoying.
Oh,
He was
oh,
the moo. He
Challenge
was the
Showdown?
moo shit. He was the moo. He was the moo shit. He was that nigga.
Oh.
Yeah, that.
Speaking of cartoons from the mid 2000s, did anybody remember Generator Rex? Actually,
Man,
Oh my god. yes.
I know
That
that
was
the
a,
guy
that
who
was
made
a
Ben
that was
10
a
made
late
it.
that was a late 2000 show. I think I was like 2009.
Yeah, that
It
I was
was
like,
in-
I was in college by the time that came out.
I was
Oh,
in high,
okay.
I was still in high
Or-
school when that was happening. Wasn't that?
I
the
liked
show-
it more than I'll say I liked it a bit more than the Ben 10 sequels. The Ben 10 sequels became like
Ben
Gary
10 I
Fantastic
nicked-
just ended with like Ultimate
Okay,
Alien.
okay. Look. I'm gonna say this right now. The original Ben 10 is a classic, right?
Yeah, it's
Ben 10 Alien
Yeah.
4, Ben 10 Alien Force was also good, but that's mostly because it was Dwayne McDuffie writing it.
Yeah.
He was
I
trying
didn't
to.
like
He was
it.
trying to. He was
Oh,
trying
wait.
to. He was
which one's
trying
Alien
to.
Force?
Alien Force was the one where he's 15 and they're fighting the hybrid
Okay,
and stuff
I didn't
like that.
one. I didn't like that
I'll
one.
see where-
And then there was Ultimate Alien.
Which is just
Which-
more Alien Force.
It was.
Just more Alien Force.
What was the point
And
of
then
that?
and then they did Omniverse, and that's where things went to shit, in my opinion.
I just
I'm gonna-
didn't like
I'm
how
gonna
the
be
animation.
controversial. I'm gonna be controversial. and say I like
I
that
really
more.
like that design.
Okay, everybody's talking at once.
Calm down, guys.
My bad. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say I actually like
Yeah.
that. I liked
What?
the fourth one. I liked. That one was because it felt like Ben had more of a personality again. I didn't like how in Alien Force he was really like you just felt like I am hero boy kid. I am here to
The
save
thing-
the day.
Exactly.
The thing about this is, I didn't like. I liked Alien Force because they gave bit. I didn't think that at all. I think like Alien Force was trying to make Ben 10 more of a standard superhero. If you
Yeah.
actually watch if you watch Alien Force and then you watch Ultimate Alien, you realize that sometimes when Ben acted a little bit immature and acted like that, but then you got into like the deeper things about it and you realize that this is about Ben taking more responsibility and being more of a hero, and that's character development. I like that. And a lot of people don't like the fact that, a character goes through more of an arc and becomes more serious, and I
He didn't have an
understand
arc,
that.
though. He did not
Yeah,
have
he
an
did.
arc.
Yeah, he
He
did.
did not. He
Like,
I feel like he just became like he's time skipped and then he was a different character. That's a difference.
no, here's the thing. If you see it like through this, and the reason I didn't like Omniverse was because they actually went back to the old formula of making Ben is like more immature than he was. And like, here's the thing, I get it. I get it from a standpoint of people liking Ben in the original because he was kind of annoying. He was kind of like he was basically a 10-year-old kid. He was kind of annoying, kind of a brat. But like when it was time to be a hero, he knew when to step up, and that's what made him a fun, interesting character. They
And I don't know.
and like in Ben 10, Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, it was in Ultimate Alien. I think like it was about him stepping up as a leader and becoming like the hero the world needed, which I can see why people said it was somewhat boring as a character, and I get that, but it was kind of like him realizing he he had to take more responsibility, and I think it could have gone better in Ultimate Alien. The reason I think Ultimate Alien messed that up is because even after like revealing that he's a superhero and everything, nothing about him changes. Nothing about his life changes. Nothing about his character changes. I'll agree that Ultimate Alien didn't give him character development, but he did develop an Alien Force, which I did like. But it was Ultimate Alien that halted his character development for whatever reason. He was
And
just a
then
celebrity.
I,
By Ultimate Alien, he was basically just a bit of a celebrity, and that's it. He didn't treat it like a big deal for some stupid reason, and they didn't really go anywhere with it. And what I hated about Omniverse is that they had a really interesting direction that they could have taken Ben in. You could tell that the people who made Omniverse had good ideas and interesting places they could have took Ben because they clearly watched the original series, but they didn't. You know what they did? They made him a child again. In fact, they made him more immature than what he was
yeah,
in
that's
the
what I didn't
original
like
Ben
about
10.
Omniverse.
Yeah.
They
Just
made
like,
him
uh,
more immature than what he
Let me-
was when he was 10 years old. And that was super annoying to watch. Seeing Ben go from a competent hero to a jackass who's more immature than what he was in the original show that was about him growing up and realizing he was a hero. And I think that's what really messed up Omniverse for me. Because I liked a lot of ideas in Omniverse. I just think one of the biggest drawbacks is it tried way too hard to be silly and over the top, and it was distracting. It was distracting. It really was distracting. It had a lot of good ideas, but it was so distracting with the humor and tone that ultimately I'm more focused on the fact that they have characters who are so silly, and there's a cow and chicken alien reference, and I'm like, what's going on? What are you doing? And so it's so stupid, and it clashes with whatever kind of tone they're going with, you know.
I don't feel like
Yeah.
I feel like the tone
Designs
they were going
in
for in the fourth series was exactly what they got. I mean, okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. I will agree with you. The third season or whatever, the Ultimate Alien or whatever, that one was worse than that was the worst one of the four. That definitely was because like because like it had like him like with it had him being immature at certain points, but then also being the superhero guy. So whenever he did something bad, I feel like I had less pity on him because he's not just some jackass. He should be smarter than this. But the fourth one, they were trying more for that sort of tone. So I
mean, I
understand
get
look at
that,
from that sequel.
but
from
like
that,
I'm like
and I also came in
at
like I
that.
said. I'm also saying I'm also coming in from the viewpoint that I didn't like the second season that much. I
But
didn't
like
hate it,
I'm
but I didn't like it. It's just like
but
and then like and also I'll say I like the I didn't really like Gwen and Kevin's dynamic with Ben that much. They kind of really bounce off him that well, if you ask me.
I mean, like, here's the thing about that. I think like I think like Ben I think like Ben what I think like Ben kind of faded into the background because like he had main character syndrome where
He
everyone
did.
else around
He didn't
him
need
was
a seat.
more
He didn't.
interesting than the
I wouldn't say
actual main character.
I wouldn't say more interesting. I just feel like I don't feel like I understood why he needed sidekicks in that one. At least I can't remember what the guy's name was, but the other plumber guy.
I liked Rook. Rook was awesome. Rook was
Yeah, like,
cool.
I feel like he bounced off.
I
He
think
bounced off him way more than older Gwen and older Kevin did. If you ask me,
it's just like the serious jokester type that I think just bounces off of them.
yeah, I feel
That's
like
my
it had more of a
opinion.
bounce off than just like a guy who was bad, but then now just kind of stopped being bad. And
I mean,
I
I
like-
like.
Right.
I mean, it reminded. I mean, like, I kind of like their. I kind of like their dynamic.
I
I
didn't.
mean, like, we had. Kevin. Kevin was like the more. Was like more. Was like the more cynical, jaded, dubious one, and like Ben was. Yeah, again, like I said, he's kind of like main character syndrome, and
Kevin
Gwen
really
was
like bounced off. Yeah, but Kevin only bounced off Gwen. He didn't bounce off Ben.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. I think like Gwen and him really bounced off each other, and
Yeah.
Ben was just there.
He was just
I
there,
do
and then, like, he was
agree.
and then he was just the only guy that could do anything. It's like, and like, because like Gwen's like, here's my magic. Oh, the magic's broken. So I guess just it's just Ben.
Anyway, this is supposed to be about video games. Let's talk about video games again.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Burning
Christ.
Exeter has a question. Do any of you guys see Anna from Frozen developing fire powers in a future Frozen film? If you guys are fans or not. 1 second.
Once they make the Disney Avengers, that's what's gonna happen.
Look,
Yep.
they're probably gonna do like another character when they inevitably make the Disney Plus TV show.
Don't you mean that princess spin-off that happened in the second Wreck-It Ralph movie that nobody wants to talk about?
Oh,
I never
I
watched
missed?
it.
look. If you want to
Let's
see,
not
like,
talk. Let's talk about video games. I don't want to talk about Wreck-It Ralph 2 again, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you guys
Alright,
like Resident Evil?
let's not. I've been playing the first remake, and it's pretty good. It's pretty
The
good.
first remake's the best one.
I
I'm
don't.
lost. What are we talking about?
I
Alright.
cannot. I can't do Resident Evil because of the tank controls. They're just not for me. I
I
can't
mean,
do the
that's
tank
what they do.
controls.
First couple of games, though,
But-
isn't it?
I don't have the new ones. I do enjoy playing the fourth one. I did enjoy playing the fourth one.
The fourth one is like the fourth one, like the one of the best games ever made. People
Yes,
like
it
keep
is.
saying that.
I'm,
I like
say that.
I like the
It just
Resident Evil
looks
1 remake
insane.
best.
I will get
Which-
the Resident Evil remakes on one condition. If Capcom announces that they will remake Resident Evil 4 from scratch, like the previous Resident Evil remakes, then I'll
I couldn't
consider.
imagine wanting that. Like they're not. The new games are too close to what they are, anyways, and they can only make things worse from there. If you ask me.
I'm not holding my breath on a said remake in the same vein as the remakes are happening, but that's kind of a bit of a hard question to swallow. Like, where can you go with
Well,
something that was considered as perfection?
they did make. They are
Yeah.
putting. I mean, I don't consider it perfection, anyways. I think Resident Evil 1's the best one. The
No, I
remake.
mean, I don't. I'm not saying it is perfection. It has its flaws, but it's fun. But it's like,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the diehard fan that say Resident Evil 4 is perfection, man.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's a lost cause trying to make a remake of that. They're gonna do it, but RE8 looks pretty cool. I kind of like that direction where they're going back to like.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
mansion
did
feel.
anybody else see the RE8 trailer?
That's where I was getting to at with this. Yeah, it's I think it looks cool, and I know some people are like, "Oh, Chris again? Why is it always Chris?" I'm like, I don't care. I like Chris.
I'm just worried for Ethan.
I mean, like,
well, the main
is it like?
characters-
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
is like
Sure.
is like Resident Evil 4 like its own continuity, or is it the
No,
same?
same continuity.
No, I think they're all connected.
I think
Because
like
Ada's
because like
in it.
I don't know. I just think I heard somewhere that Resident Evil 4 was like it's literally like its own continuity or some
It's
shit.
not its own continuity, but it stands on its own. It was kind of a soft reboot. It was still like like when Leon came there, he was already like a hardened guy from all the Resident Evil 2 nonsense. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
you didn't need to know about that though to to play the game, because it was all about a whole new virus and a whole new place.
Okay, I
Nice.
got you.
Although it did end up being the whole root cause of that was Umbrella, anyways. But that's a whole different discussion.
I actually
Okay.
watched the trailer for the 8th title, and I am a little curious about it.
I'm just
It
glad it's
looks
not a
like
remake.
it has RE4 vibes with all like the medieval sort of buildings and stuff in it.
I was thinking more like 1, because like they're trying to go back to that mansion motif, and I do like. I'm glad about that. And it is going to be a village, so I guess that will be more of a Resident Evil 4 nod too. They're probably trying to
Yeah.
hit both. They're probably trying to hit both.
Here's a question: did anyone actually like Game of Thrones vibes while looking at the first few minutes of it?
It kind of looks like that, yeah, with the statues and stuff.
Yeah,
and the
with
fact
the
that
forest.
everything's on snow.
Honestly, it could be good, but this is one of those things that I'm just going to wait and see what happens.
It looks good so far.
Oh yeah.
I can't
Oh,
wait.
I'll tip my hat saying that it looks impressive.
Yeah,
The Demon Souls remake looks pretty good too.
Oh, someone left.
Oh
Where's
yeah.
Hang on.
I never really played Demon Souls. I played Dark Souls 3, which I know everybody says is not the good one, but
Hey,
I mean,
Hack,
look at
what happened?
Oh, Wi-Fi's being shit. Sorry.
Oh,
No, it's cool, dude. I'm
Okay.
not really into Demon Souls 2 either, but I like it looks good because like the whole gimmick with Dark Souls is like it's more a mechanics based thing than like a graphical thing. Even like FromSoft, they're not known for good like amazing graphics. They're known for being like technical stuff.
Yeah.
So like seeing it's basically like looking like it's basically like seeing what would happen if this game was polished. With it like if you get a good polish on something that was that again like even like their more modern games like Sekiro and Dark Souls 3, they don't look quote unquote good
I don't
like
know. Sekiro looks
cinematically.
amazing. I think Sekiro
it still looks good, but like it still has that janky feel to it. You know what I mean?
Well, see, here's the thing.
Because it's more mechanics based.
No, I wouldn't say
See-
mechanics based. The way I'd say is it's more they're more setting a mood. I feel like atmosphere is a big way push for why I feel like they're always nailing atmosphere, like because graphics are gonna age. Like
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like the graphics for Sekiro, if you look closely at them, they're not great by modern AAA game standards. They're more
PS3
it's-
era.
yeah, they're
I
like
wouldn't even
more
go that.
PS
I wouldn't go that far. It's just it's
late.
just that's the way I like a lot of
extremely,
like if you look at Fallout 4 or something like that, like another kind of like openish game. It's more like on that kind of thing.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like stuff like that. It's more trying to put in as much as you can rather than have it make it look like you know.
Oh yeah,
So
it's
they're
just 'cause, like
gonna
it's a big, huge open map. That's what I'm saying. It's more like it's more in that kind of vein. Because I mean, you couldn't really say Fallout 4 is not a AAA game. It's just
Yeah.
that's just what you got to sacrifice for having big maps.
Now, I can say this. My friend, who is a massive Dark Souls fan, and every time I'm at his house, he always plays either the 3 Dark Souls games or Bloodborne. He never played Demon Souls in front of my eyes, so I'm actually excited for the remake so I can finally know what the hell Demon Souls is.
I can't say much on Demon Souls. I never did play it.
My roommate had it back in the day.
I played a little bit of it. I played a little bit of Dark Souls. I played Sekiro. I never beat any of them because I'm not good at Souls games.
I don't think anybody is.
No, I don't think anybody's.
The only people that are good at
Uh,
Souls games are the ones that can play on a Fisher Price controller.
Oh,
What?
great.
like Salem is really good at Bloodborne, and he told me it's very much like you got to get a pattern down and stuff like that in order to like get into it.
They're like the new age equivalent of playing like an old Castlevania, like on NES, but for nowadays
Yeah.
you gotta just keep throwing yourself at it and then keep getting a good pattern. Yeah, like we just said, pattern down. It's the modern day equivalent of that. That's why I don't get why people are like it's a Dark Souls like game whenever it's hard. I'm like, bitch, do you not play a Nintendo game? They were doing Souls in quotation marks games way before that.
I think
Yeah,
I
has
know
any-
the reason
has it-
why a lot of. Sorry, just you can go first.
Has anyone played freaking Hollow Knight?
I haven't.
No, I have not.
I have it on my
It
It
computer.
is.
Never
If you
played
have
it.
not played, if you have not played Hollow Knight, play Hollow Knight. It is amazing. It is really good, guys. It is really fucking.
Oh no, I
it
believe you
is.
on that.
It is so simplistic yet so fucking good. At the same time, like if you enjoy like old school Castlevania type games, it is the perfect game for that.
Yeah.
Just saying, you could probably take Shovel Knight back into the 80s. Nobody would notice. That's how accurate it is.
Shovel
Shovel
Knight is
Knight-
fucking awesome. It's Shovel Knight is.
Yeah, I just played the Spectre Knight campaign recently. It was awesome. It's also because it also kind of feels like kind of Ninja Gaiden-ish, like the old Ninja Gaidens.
Speaking of Shovel Knight, if they what was it? What was the name? I'm trying to remember the name of the studio that made that. I believe it was Yacht Studios. Is that what they made it?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, now hear me out. If Yacht made a 3D styled Shovel Knight game that was in the vein of, like, say, the old 3D games, but with a modern look to it, would you buy it?
What do you mean
I
by
didn't see
the
it.
what do you
Are you trying to say like? Are you talking about like the N64 era, basically?
Yeah,
Ooh,
like,
I'd love that.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Shovel Knight, the first title was more in the vein of a throwback to the NES style of video games. They actually did talk about going in that sort of direction for each new game. Like, one game could focus more on the Super Nintendo look. One game could look on how it would look on a Sega Genesis console, while the other could basically theoretically how it would look on an N64 title. Is
That'd be pretty
what
cool if it was low poly for the look of it. But I just also wonder how those if they're gonna do just Shovel Knight, they're gonna need to I wonder how the mechanically that'd work because I can't. I feel like the
See,
the way
Burner.
the platform
Later, Burning Exeter.
Yeah, if you do like the pogo and stuff like that in 3D, that feel like that feel a lot more finicky. I feel like, but I can't really say. Who knows? It would work.
I mean, if they can pull it off, I'll tip my hat. It's just that
Oh yeah.
I would be happy if they would actually go for that route if they were gonna make new Shovel Knight titles, like go into the different eras of gaming of where it would go in terms of luck.
It'd be cool. I actually think, like I said, if it went for like a low poly platformer, that'd be pretty cool visually.
I'm surprised
definitely.
no one else has picked up on that actually. Like other than like a couple of indie games, I don't see that. Very
you talking about low poly or just 3D platformers?
Low poly. Like
there's horror games that are doing like the old like Silent Hill look.
There's a
but
Silent Hill or
There's like a
games.
million of those. If you go on Itch.io, there's a bunch of those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
Like Lost
There's
like
a platformer.
There are
I'm
tons
talking
of
about
games that mimic the look of the early first-person shooter games, and don't get me started on how many games that are out there trying to mimic the look of Earthbound. Thanks to
Oh my god.
oh god.
I'm not saying the name,
like-
but you know.
No.
I like
Yep.
the game. I'm just gonna say that.
No, I had to have a
what
realization.
what are you guys talking about?
No, we're talking
throwback games. Like,
we're talking
this-
about like how there are throwback video games that are inspired by the past games, but some of them are trying to do their own thing, but other times there are a few titles where they can't stand on their own feet without relying on the past graphics.
Yeah,
Actually,
like
There's definitely something like that.
you want to know a game? You want to know a game that's based off of Earthbound but is its own thing that I think you guys should play?
What's that?
Lisa the Painful. Yeah, that is amazing.
I hear so many good things about that game, and I just don't know, man.
Lisa?
Like, yeah, Lisa the Pain. It's like a trilogy. It's like Lisa the Painful, and Lisa the Joyful.
Lisa
I
the
think.
Pain. Lisa the Pain. Oh, the
Lisa
Pain.
the
Lisa the pain in my ass. The Simpsons game.
Oh! You walked yourself into that one, my friend.
Well, Lisa's like insanely hard from what I heard. Like, there's permadeath in that game.
Oh, hold on, I'm
It's
looking at
something-
this game right now. I'm gonna. Let's see here.
I will
Like
say if you like those if you're talking about those visuals from like old going to new, the Metro was really cool about that. The Messenger had you started out like Ninja Gaiden where you're just kind of going left to right and going doing the stages, and then about two-thirds of the way through it just he goes to the future, and in the future it just it goes from NES to Sega Genesis looking graphics.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was wild.
Ow.
Yeah, and then it becomes like a Metroidvania from there at that point on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say South,
that game.
South, you're the one that said that. You're the one that said who played Lisa the Pain, right?
Yeah.
I got a question for you because I'm looking at some of these screenshots of the game. It kind of gets. I'm kind of getting some Newgrounds vibes off of that. Like I'm talking about like
It's
the like
yeah, I know what
Alien
you're talking
Homad,
about.
Alien
It's like
Homad.
it kind of is like Newgrounds a little bit, where it's just like unpolished like sprites and stuff like that. But trust me, it was like it has an excuse. It was made on like RPG Maker and all that.
No,
But
I'm not talking about the game itself. I'm just talking about the character design. Is like okay, I can see where you're getting at, but I'm also seeing something else that's in the mix that makes it kind
it's
of work.
simple. The designs are simple, but they're effective in my opinion. Like you can kind of get who the characters are just by looking at them.
Speaking of games, there's one canceled video game that I kind of hope would at one point would see the light day again, but I have doubts on actually coming back.
What game is that?
What game is it?
How many of you guys saw a trailer for a video game called Crank the Weasel?
Crank
No.
the Weasel.
Weasel?
Is that like a sexual innuendo?
No, it isn't.
Oh yes.
I mean,
Let me look that up
I
real quick.
mean, like, I personally would think it's a sexual innuendo. I'm clever. I'm clever, and I'm clever enough to think of it as a sexual innuendo.
It is.
It sounds. Oh, it was a dirty style platforming game.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, it looks.
this was basically a 3D successor of sorts to Conker's Bad Fur Day, but rather than being a successor to Conker, it's actually before Cuphead. This was basically like this was going to be like the cartoony bad boy of to follow up Conker.
So it's
Yeah, I was
kinda
gonna say like this is really giving me Cuphead vibes with like the same hose style
it's
or whatever
giving
it's called.
Cool World
Hey.
vibes, actually.
The funny thing is about
okay.
the funny thing is about that is that actually like it kind of like got like if Roger Rabbit went bad kind of vibe to it.
Well, both are kind of like inspired by like that same holes style, sort of.
But the thing here's the thing though, the game itself would have been like a beat 'em up style cartoon romp where you play this weasel who wanted to go to a pleasure island for himself, and Midway was developing this title, and they also
What?
had
What? What's
Yeah,
what's the
Midway.
name? What's the name of the game?
Crank the
the
Weasel.
weasel.
It's real. It's real. Trust me, I looked it up, Slim.
There's actually some footage of it. This game was going to be released for the PS2, the first Xbox console, and the Nintendo GameCube.
Wow.
I'm just gonna
That's
say this
forever
out
ago.
there. I
Well, I
couldn't.
said Midway, so that's what he said right there.
Oh, this looks. I know what aesthetic this is. This looks like something made by John Kay.
Oh God!
Oh,
Don't bring him
Stumble.
up.
Look,
I can
John
kinda see
Kay was
that.
good at what he did. It's just what he did outside of animation was fucking horrible.
Yeah.
No.
The artist, not the art.
Let's never compare anything to that because that's, as an honest, I find that a little offensive because cartoony stuff was around long before that son of a bitch.
I mean, like
That's
the
fair.
thing about. I'm just saying, like the thing about John Kay is like he kind of reintroduced that style.
Yeah, but he took credit for everything, saying it was like, "Oh, this was my doing, my doing," but never gave credit to those who actually did the craft. Is what I'm saying. Is what's insulting.
And his like cans with his cans with labels Kickstarter just was a flop all the way through. There's that too.
He shot himself in the foot for that one.
Oh yeah.
But getting back onto Crank, this was basically like a secondary Conco, and Midway actually did do some other cartoony video games, but those did not sell well in terms of profits. They did well with the critics, but they did not do well cash wise. So I'm just going to take the wild guess that why we never saw this come into fruition is the fact that this was going to be an M-rated video game that had cartoony aesthetics inspired by past cartoons. And while Midway's previous titles didn't do so well financially, this was either all hit or no go situation.
Yeah.
I could actually kind of
Uh,
see that as like an M-rated game, even though it would have like sold less, considering the fact that cartoons of that style were for like adults. I could totally see it as like an M-rated game. I think it'd be pretty cool.
this could be like a whole subgenre if it wanted to be.
What?
Yeah.
But yeah, but like you said, that those usually don't sell that well. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, Cuphead
Like,
Cuphead was a rare exception where something cartoony actually sells well. But here's the thing though, Cuphead was an indie title, while Crank was a title developed by a known studio.
What was that
Another. Here's the thing. A couple of things about Cuphead. Cuphead actually started off, it was going to be like a boss rush game, but then like they added a bunch of stuff and more stuff, the more money they got for it, and then eventually like it became bigger than what they thought it was going to be. And then at one point, it didn't really, it never, and plus it never really took on the whole quote unquote like dirty style of Conker's Bad Fur Day or anything like that. It had a few references, drug reference, like like gambling and a few drinking references, but it was never like straight up, like
it tried to have like
adult.
I wouldn't say anything extreme happened in Cuphead that would be on the
Sorry, guys.
borderline.
What did I miss?
We're actually talking about Cuphead's content, South.
man, where's that
Okay.
DLC out, by the way?
What?
There's
The
Yeah,
DLC.
there's DLC for it. I don't know when it's coming out though.
I think it's coming out next year because, after all, there is an old saying: you can't rush art.
They could also
well,
not
considering the
announce art.
fact that it took like 7 years for Cuphead to be made, I'm not surprised that's coming out next year.
Yeah,
I mean,
They're
Cuphead-
also getting a TV show.
I'm
Yeah.
Oh
actually,
yeah, I heard about that on Netflix, right?
it's coming to Netflix.
Yeah.
I actually know a few people who are on board with the Cuphead show, and I will be honest, I am a little jealous of them because I would.
that's
freaking
actually
like-
cool.
I mean, like, I'm happy for them, but I'm like, at the same time, I would like to take part in some of that fun because, hey, I draw some similar things to that. So I mean, like, I could easily get myself a job, but I'm not that qualified portfolio wise.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how to like get my foot in there. To be honest,
Dude, to be honest, it's a lot of nepotism. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's not your talent until you know. I know it sounds fucked up, but it really is like that. Wayward, tell him right now. It's who you know. It's all about who you know.
oh yeah, definitely.
It's not about talent. It's all about who you know now. And the sad part is, like go back to animation and go back to any like industry like 15 years ago, and they'll tell you, oh well, it was hard work and stuff like that. Now it's all nepotism. It's all nepotism now.
That's
especially
kind
like
of
the early
bad.
especially like the early 2010s, where it's like, did you notice? Did any of you watch Flapjack, the Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack or whatever?
Yep.
That was good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
The guys
all of them really did just at first started there, and then like branch. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's not the problem. That I wouldn't really even consider that nepotism
Yeah.
because that's always been a thing.
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
like you've had
I was gonna say, like,
Gendy Tartakovsky and Lauren Faust and Rob Renzetti and Craig
yeah.
McCracken and
Those
literally
guys,
all of
buddies
them
in
started
college,
off
right?
working together, and they all started off working together, but then
They were the
branched off and
roommates.
did different stuff. And this
Well,
is kind of the same
well,
thing.
Lauren Faust married Craig McCracken, so that's not really going off and doing it.
She's
Perfect.
a good animator in her own right.
Yeah,
she does deserve it.
No, I think
She
she's
did
good.
she did like Foster's Home episodes. She did a bunch of Powerpuff Girls episodes. She did
My
My
Little
Little
Pony.
Pony. And but like my point is like those shows like those people branched off each other. It didn't
Can
feel like yeah, like this is something, you know. But then like Flapjack, you have Alex Hirsch and JG
JG
Quintel
Quintel.
did a lot of storyboarding and writing for that show, and you can tell this dude was fucking high as shit when he made that show. When he was on
well,
make the show,
Did anybody
and then
see
he
that 2 in the AM PM short he did like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
dude is just weird.
I
But like,
yeah,
in
that
a good way. In a good
I
way.
mean, to be fair, that some things outside the box are weird in terms of context, and that was basically how regular show started. I wouldn't be surprised if anyone who worked on the show, a regular show, joked that it all started from a druggy joint.
actually, the first thing was the I think it was called the Insane Man from Lollyland, and they actually made like a
The
joke
Jolly
about
Man
that in
from
the
Orlando, I think.
finale. Yeah, like they actually made a joke where Pops went back to that original short, and that was like the beginning of the universe for regular show.
Yeah, like that
Um,
whole thing. That
The
was
in
like
space one was so weird.
it was about like
But hey, it's a regular show.
it was like two guys taking acid into a gas station and they started hallucinating and all that, and that's how Benson and Mordecai kind of like came to the minds, and they kind of like just made a show based on those
Mordecai,
characters.
it's like basically Mordecai is just JD Quintel as a Blue Jay. He just admitted that. It's just me as a Blue Jay.
I
And
really
he,
want to meet Jaden Quintel one of these days.
Oh
He's
no,
asking
that
me
just
to hang
means
out with.
Jay is a fucking simp. No.
No, he does sound like a pretty chill creator compared to most creators these days. But
Hey,
yeah,
but you
Like
like
gotta,
he's
he's
huge.
like
He's really
he
good. He's
like
really cool.
can I get
yeah,
back
he's
to what I was
really
saying?
cool.
Can I get back to what I was saying about Cuphead earlier in terms of comparisons?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I mean, comparing to Cuphead and Crank is both different, but they're both different. Well, Cuphead is more on the lines of, let's say, PG terms, because you, after all, you have like smoking, gambling, that sort of thing. You don't have anything too extreme. But well, Crank, you're pushing the limit with Crank. You're going like older audience territory with that, and
One
I'm not.
second.
All right, South, you do what you do. And I'm not saying something like Crank could happen, but if that were to happen, like if there was going to be like a comeback of sorts for Crank or something similar comes out, don't be surprised if it's coming from an indie studio. They're the ones that who are usually are the ones that take more of a risk compared to most gaming studios these days.
oh, definitely. Like I was thinking about it, like in most of the games that I liked from like the last 10 years are mostly indie games.
I mean, don't I mean like
Yeah.
and most of the other titles that come out that are outside the box are usually the studios that you never heard of until they're gone.
Yeah, like I said, like one like I think like Hollow Knight is one of the best games to come out in the past decade. It really. I know people say like, "Oh my God, this is just like Souls," but then I played it and it really does feel like if like Souls was a Metroidvania, except you only get like a sword and a handful of magical spells, and you have like platforming and a dark atmosphere, and if you die you go back to a specific place and you got to get your stuff back. It really does feel like they took like Metroid and Castlevania stuff and combined it with Souls. It's basically Souls as a 2D platformer,
Nice.
and it
What game
really
were we
does
talking
work.
about?
Hollow Knight.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Go
I-
check it out. It's actually a really like a really good game.
I'm gonna have to check that out if I can find it for a reasonable price.
It's actually if you got like Game Pass or whatever, I think it's free if it's on like Game Pass.
No, I can say one of the newest indie games that caught my eye was West of the Dead, and that's just because the main character is Ron Perlman and it has some amazing cell shading graphics.
You lost me in
They
zombies.
they
You got me
got
back with
Ron-
Ron Perlman.
They got Ron Perlman to do
Yes.
like a video game.
I think they got
I mean-
Ron. I mean, like I heard the guy doesn't. I heard the guy says he doesn't do cameos. I heard like he's like
The Hellboy
super
guy.
picky.
Hellboy, Slade from Teen
It's
Titans.
like it's not like a cameo. It's a full. He's like the main character.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm like I heard
The what?
I heard like Ron Perlman's not an easy guy to work with, basically.
I mean,
if you
he,
can go by a trophy, that sounds right.
I mean, he is a nice guy, but I'm certain that he does have his limits. I mean, after all, he's only human. What can you expect from someone like Ron Perlman?
I mean, he
He
sounds
just
like a
looks
hard
really
ass.
grumpy.
But I heard like I mean like he like I heard from Del Toro, like I heard from like Del Toro, like he's almost in every Del Toro production. Guillermo del Toro production.
Yep.
And I heard from Del Toro he's actually a really nice guy, but I heard like not like he's a nightmare to work with from other people. So who knows? I don't know. I had never met the guy.
That's the power of a good director that can get people who are actually hard to work with to be like the best actor.
Well, here's a bit of a bad example of that. Let me see if I can remember this right. Let's see. In terms of people who don't work in terms of working together at all, it's like you had like Billy West and John Kay for an example. Billy is a nice guy and has done a lot of stuff, while John, to put it mildly, isn't.
I mean like a good example of this is I heard that like people like I heard I don't like I said I think it like varies from person to person because I heard Tara Strong is actually like really hard to like work with personally.
What do you mean by
Like
that?
Really?
like she's like as a person she's like really hard to work with. But like as an actress she's easy to work with, but like as a person, like you try to like handle her as a person, she's like hard to work with. I don't know what that means, but people keep telling me that. I don't know what the heck it's talking about.
So you're saying she's good at like when you want her to voice that, but as a person, she's really hard to like be buddies with. Is that what you're trying to say?
I guess that's what people mean.
Yeah.
Cause like
Yeah,
I heard that from a bunch of people.
I don't know. That's all she said.
Yeah, I don't do that anyway. I believe personally that there should always be like a good environment for like your friends to work with. You should be friendly and happy and cordial towards each other if you're gonna work together.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Speaking of voice actors and Tara Strong and stuff like that, you guys hear about the Samurai Jack game?
I've heard of
On
it.
the Switch.
I don't know what's going on with it, but
I
heard
might
of it.
actually get the Switch because of that game. It looks fun.
Yeah,
I
Like,
am
yeah,
actually
it looks-
quite impressed by it.
yeah, like they're getting all the original voice actors back. They're getting they're
So,
getting like they're getting everyone back together to make this game again. I remember watching and I remember watching like some of the gameplay and stuff like that. They're talking about the voice actors and stuff, and everybody was like, "Ah, cool, we're seeing this." But like the room exploded when they saw the Scotsman was gonna be in the game. It was like, "Oh, cool," and then they saw John DiMaggio in the voice booth, and they saw the Scotsman like in the game, 3D model and everything, hugging Jack, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get the Scotsman in the game. It's awesome." I'm like, "Yeah,
You know what
you're
I'd love to
damn
see?
right."
You know what
You're
I love
gonna
to
get the
see
Scotsman
if you
in the
play the
game.
Scotsman? You play as him, but you don't use his sword. He just yells at people, and then they just die.
Yeah. To be fair, yeah, I would. Yeah, the Samurai Jack actually looks pretty good. I actually was. I almost missed. I missed the chance of meeting the Samurai Jack creator, Gennady Tartakovsky, at one point.
No, I want to I want to meet him one day. I
I
don't know
want
how
to
he is.
shake. I want to shake his hand. Gendy is a very like. Gendy is like very. It's very much like the Quentin Tarantino of animation. He is just the coolest, and he does whatever
Minus
he
the foot
wants.
fetish. Quentin
Damn right he
Tarantino
is.
minus the
But
foot
he,
fetish.
but he, but he gives us,
He's
but he
a
gives us, but he gives us the curves. He
Yeah.
gives us the curves.
superior fetish. That's all I'm gonna say.
See, instead of a foot
Mhm.
fetish, Kennedy has the angle fetish.
To be fair, well, here's the thing.
Everybody's
Gendy-
sharper than like a knife in that one. It's
Oh,
awesome.
Like I love the Star Wars animated show, but man, people are like can cut a knife with their fucking chin.
You're seeing like
Uh,
Professor, like their chins are so sharp. In the reboot of the Powerpuff Girls, they made him round.
We do not talk about that.
Oh God!
All right,
Let's not talk. Let's not talk about that. Let's not raise our blood
Well,
pressures.
could I finish what I was saying?
Seriously.
Sure, sorry
Sure.
for going off topic.
Gendy was at one point going to be at one of the, man, I can't speak right tonight. Anyways, Kennedy was going to show up at the PAX convention in my area, and I was going to PAX on a different day. On the day it was announced, on which day he was going to show up on.
That's actually really cool.
No,
You know,
the
I
thing.
feel
No, here's the thing.
Oh.
I went to a different day when Kennedy wasn't there.
Aw.
Oh,
So you just missed him by like a singular day.
Yes.
I kind of feel
That-
you on that one, CLX, because I remember my library in my area that I live in. They were throwing like a thing for Comic Con, and I
Mhm.
missed the opportunity to meet Mae Jemison, the voice of Katara from Avatar, I think.
I think it's Mae Whitman. Mae Whitman.
Oh,
Yeah, so-
Mae Jemison's a freaking astronaut. I'm sorry.
Don't
yeah,
worry.
I could have met her. And
You know something weird about Mae Whitman though?
what?
When I watched the 2012 TMNT show, right? I can only hear Katara.
That
I-
happens.
I
Has
feel
a
I
one
wa-
voice.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
wa-
get with.
And the problem with that is like her character in the TMNT 2012 show is so similar to Katara that I
Probably-
really just see Katara in TMNT. It works,
Oh, they're both like.
but like it's just, and that's just Katara, man. It's just Katara.
You know, I feel you on that one, Slim, because you know who I hate you know which voice actor I hate the most that does that?
Who though?
Who?
Yuri Lowenthal. Every
I
time
never
I
heard of
hear
him.
him,
he can do a little
He's the
bit.
guy-
He has a little more range,
he
I'll say.
voiced
But
Ben.
they get him to do the one thing. They're like, "Hey, can you do Ben 10 again? I really like that Ben 10. Do that again."
Yeah, because I remember I was watching a playthrough of Resident Evil 0, and he plays like one of the guys that gets killed. And every time I could hear him, it's like, oh my god, it's Ben Tennyson. What are you doing in Resident Evil? Use your freaking Omnitrix and get out of here.
Didn't he play the PS4 Peter Parker?
Yeah,
Apparently, yeah.
Really?
Because I was thinking he'd make a great Spider-Man, and then my
he
dreams
was
came true.
Spider-Man in Spectacular as well.
No, that was I think I was
No,
somebody
you're
different.
right.
I think I was
I think
Josh
he was-
Keaton.
He was Iceman in X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men. That's what it was.
He was
Well,
Well,
I think I was Josh Keaton in Spectacular.
Yeah, I
he was
believe you.
top-
I was getting confused. He's
Yuri
he was
Lowenthal was also sorry, go ahead.
no good. You're good.
Yuri Lowenthal apparently also voiced Sasuke in the original Naruto.
Yeah,
Wait,
because they get,
what?
like I said, they get.
Yeah.
He was also Ichigo. But by then, I was like, I don't know what you're doing here. This is like I'm already 5 seasons ahead. What am I doing with this? Nothing.
I thought Ichigo was voiced by John Young Bosch though.
No, you're right. My bad. It was one of the. Yeah, he's in a lot of things too with that same voice.
Yeah. I mean, at least
Ah.
Bosch is a little good at hiding that, other than freaking Lowenthal.
They're about the same level to me, if you ask me.
I
Yeah.
feel like
He just and like I said, Yuri Lowenthal has like some range though, like because like I was pretty glad he was.
he's not a bad voice actor.
No, he's just in everything.
No,
That's
no,
he's
he's
kind of
not
like It's like I really like Stephen J. Bloom, but I'm getting tired of hearing him in things. He needs to calm down.
No,
He
no,
always sounds like this, and that's what makes me really annoyed about him.
Quit
he
doing
tried.
that voice. It's not funny.
Here's the thing. Steve Bloom was awesome as Spike. Everyone agrees on that. Spike was fucking brilliant. He was awesome when he played Mugen. Mugen was awesome too. Like, 'cause that's all I
Shampoo
know.
Boy.
What that's all what'd you say?
That Mugen, he's from Samurai Champloo, right?
Yeah,
The main character.
Samurai Champloo. And I'm like, so I know Spike. I mean, I know. I can't, you see, he's so good. I named by his character. I know that Steve Bloom has a good bit of range, but like, man, well, like I think he's just been slacking off lately.
Yeah, I remember. Apparently, he does like the English dub for one of the characters in the anime Baki, and at the time I was watching it, I was only watching the Japanese version, and I switched over to the English version to see how it. I was like, don't really like that version that much.
And he also played the original Vilgax. I forgot he did that. Yeah, he played the
Wow.
original Vilgax.
Yeah, he was.
That is
He was
really cool. He did Wolverine too.
He was
I believe.
also Skips and regular show.
Yeah.
And
No, that was
wait, Skip-
Mark
Mark
Hamill.
Yeah,
What?
he did.
it was. Yeah,
He did
Hold
Tecmo,
up.
Mark
up.
Hamill
He
did.
plays
Yeah.
Tecmo. That's Tecmo.
the Green Boy.
Yeah, the green guy. But even
He
then,
also-
he still plays like this. It was still like him kind of being lazy, but I could forgive it.
You're right.
He
My
also-
bad.
He dressed up as, and also Tecmo dressed up as Spike in one of the Halloween specials. So
Yeah,
there's a
that
little
was
bit
funny.
more-
That was awesome. You know somebody who I don't like as a voice actor though. I personally don't like.
Who?
Who?
I don't like Roger Craig Smith.
Wasn't he one of the Sonics?
He's the current Sonic.
Uh,
He's the
I'm not
current,
gonna
like
blame him.
he's Sonic. He's Sonic from Colors onward.
Yeah, I don't think it's really him that I don't like as Sonic. It's just the writing's really bad in all those games.
I mean, he's a decent voice actor, but I'd say blame the writing.
Yeah, like
I mean, like the thing is, like he just doesn't sound like. You see, Jason Griffith, who did Sonic's voice, from like Adventure onward, right? What made him good was that he kind of sounded, he kind of sounded like, I wouldn't say really a kid, but he sounded cartoony, you know?
yeah, he's like,
He's
But,
kind of
like,
like
the thing-
cocky, but not overblown.
oh yeah, you know
Yeah.
that like that voice that I don't know if you watch Game Grumps, really Aaron always does that Sonic voice. That's basically he was making fun of. He's making fun of that one, and you know, say
Oh.
what you will, but at least it sounds like there's something there you can kind of like grab onto there. I think that's why.
Even Ben Schwartz sounds, kind of cartoony,
Or
And
Jaleel White, if you really want to go old
I actually
school.
like Julia White. I still
I
kind of,
like Jaleel White's Sonic. I like Jaleel
Yeah,
White's
he was
Sonic.
good.
he was kind of cool and kind of dorky at the same time. That's why I liked him.
But like with and it's not just specifically Sonic I'm talking about with Roger Craig Smith. It's just like his voice is just so casually smug 20 something, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
his voice always carries
know.
that. And
If he had
nah.
writing to back that up, like that version of Sonic, I think it'd work. I think like because the Boom Show kind of does that, where he's kind of the normal guy out of the group, and everybody else is kind of
yeah,
retarded.
he's okay. I like Boom I like Boom's second season because it decided to be basically Sonic as Seinfeld, basically what it was trying to be. It knew what it wanted to be. It was basically Sonic as Seinfeld.
I think that, like I
It
said,
really-
if they
What's
had
the
something
deal
like
with
that,
golden rings?
the colors operating like all those ones those ones just kind of have like they're written so generically, and then like they're usually kind of ironic, and like kind of like what I was saying versus like imagining if Kingdom Hearts had the American studio. That's basically what I imagine Kingdom Hearts would be. It's like they're just like, oh, whoa, isn't it crazy that I'm seeing Aladdin here?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's trying to be like Deadpool style comedy, like where they're aware of how ironic it is. But
You
the
have
thing
to be
about
really good to pull off though.
Oh
yeah,
because even like I'll say one thing I haven't been liking about indie games lately is like I'm kind of getting tired of like so many of them being ironic. Like even The Messenger, I liked it a lot, but the story was very ironic.
Oh man,
White Yick does this horribly.
there
Have
is
y'all
a-
ever heard of Yick?
Yeah, Y2K.
Never heard
Yeah,
of
well,
it.
it's Y2K or Yick or
Oh my
whatever.
god, it's so high in its own parts. It's hilarious.
or like indie
It's
devs.
so
There's always
disgustingly smug. I hate it.
there's always a
I
phrase
blame
that-
I blame the era of video game internet web comics for our
yeah.
current situation.
Oh,
That's a
Oh,
big
God.
influence on that.
Can we get rid of those bad
Especially, like-
webcomics?
especially Dorkly. Dorkly was a humongous
Oh
propagator.
god.
I used to
Oh,
watch
Yeah,
so
control
much
like
Dorkly, I regret it.
Dobson, control delete. VG Cats was okay. VG Cats gets a pass.
It's
I never
it was
read
vapid.
Ninja Cats.
I'll say
I never read
vapid.
Ninja Cats.
It's about in the level though. This is the one. So
I
at
think
least they just did porn after that and didn't get all like, here's our political message. I'm like,
Alex,
oh,
I
good.
am right. It's just Control Alt Delete, but furry.
It is. It is.
I mean,
And
but
I'm
look,
like,
I think one of what I have a problem with Dorkly in terms of content,
Yeah, what?
it's that a majority of it just a majority of it is just the same formula we've seen countless times, just with other different video games.
Yeah, it's just like, whoa, isn't it wacky that Mega Man can charge his cannon? Isn't it wacky that Mario takes mushrooms and he like gets crazy powers?
Well,
It's
it's
that
not-
type of humor.
Exactly. Yeah.
It-
You get,
haven't
you get auto-generate stuff.
haven't like they're like hasn't like a part of Dorkly at this point like gone bankrupt.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah,
some
I
of the
think
people
so.
who actually worked for Dorkly have left, but the situation itself last
I
time
mean,
checked,
I mean, like they're still making content. It's just like they're like
Nobody
their like
watches
core
it.
thing. Their core thing has been like bankrupt, and they have like no money left or something like that.
let me look this up. I can answer your question. Just give me a minute to look it up.
See,
A simple Google search always helps. Okay, now
No doubt that. No doubt.
okay. Now here's the thing. I am reading this as we speak. So now according to according to someone who actually works on Newgrounds, I think it's the founder of Newgrounds that
Tom Fulp.
no. Oh wait, I said the wrong name. I'm mixing things up. Dorkly. The founder of Dorkly has stated that IAC, the parent company, had made had decided not to fund any Dorkly anymore, and they've laid off 100 people who lost their job.
Dang.
Oh,
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a pretty much
sucks.
a big ouch right there. And
Yeah.
and so anything that happens with Dorkly is up in the air as we speak.
Yeah, I don't like.
see,
It's the same thing happening with like College Humor. Like they're just laying people off because nobody's watching their
And
content anymore.
BuzzFeed and Telltale like a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
God,
all these
Telltale.
Telltale did that shit because they had so many licensed games and they couldn't keep up.
See,
Telltale-
It's just really
they
In
got
Telltale Games situations, it's what Slim mentioned. They had so many IPs they were developing at once. I mean, like what were they? They had the Walking
There was
Dead.
They had Walking Dead, Guardians of the
good.
Galaxy, Batman.
they just overflowed the market, didn't they?
Actually-
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park,
Yeah,
Walking Dead.
Yeah,
and
They
at
did
one
it by
point,
damn selves too. That's the sad thing.
You want to know what's even sadder is that, well, kind of ironic considering that this was a rival studio to them at one point. I mean, considering that a majority of the workers who worked on Telltale were from LucasArts. At one point, Telltale was going to do an episodic series based off of King's Quest, which is a Sierra IP.
Yep.
Oh, oh yeah. Oh man, it
Oh
just
yeah, I heard
breaks
about
my
that.
heart.
You don't remember hearing
It's
anything about that? They
I
actually
knew there was
made
a
a big
King's
deal of.
Quest game.
Yeah, I heard about it. I heard about it. I thought like I thought it was a interesting idea, but
See, I wanted Telltale to become like the modern day Sierra and eventually have them make a new Leisure Suit Larry game. That's all I wanted from them.
I
I
I
feel like
actually I actually would love to jump on the chance of working on a Leisure Suit Larry title because I have some comedy that can work for that.
Oh,
But
I would like that. Just let me ask you one thing if you ever do. Never make it the design of the new game. The new game's design is awful.
what
that
do you
did
mean?
look ugly.
The 3D one.
No,
No,
the
that's a
new
three.
2D one.
Yeah, that one looks kind of ugly.
Well, I would probably aim for more of a throwback look in
E-
terms of, you know how it like Love for Sale looked.
Yeah, that
I would kind of aim for something like that, but with a few modern touches here and there. As far as I know, they actually did make a new Leisure Suit Larry title, but it doesn't look like good. But I would say it looks more like if Leisure Suit Larry was done by the guys who made Penny Arcade. That's how.
that's
That's
exactly what it
exactly
looks
how
like.
it looks.
Oh god,
Is the
you're
game? Oh my god! I just looked this up. Is the game called Leisure Suit Larry? Wet Dreams Don't Dry.
yes.
Yeah, it's like
Out of all the
it,
titles, they went with that one. Even Al Lowe was not impressed.
And I
I
think the
knew
whole
Leisure
point of that,
Suit Larry was like sexual in nature, but oh my god!
like,
well, that's
if
because you
you
can't do that anymore. You can't be subtle anymore. You gotta just say like, "Oh, my dick's out."
like if you want peak Leisure Suit Larry design, I'd say you take a look at the first remake of the game of Leisure Suit Larry 1. That's the best Larry design in my eyes.
Well, the way I see it envisioned as a new Leisure Suit Larry game could work is that if you take the animation style of, like, say, Bob Clampett or Tex Avery and try and make it a little more at home of what Leisure Suit Larry was originally about, I'd say that could supposedly work in terms of design.
Yeah.
I mean, like, after all, there, Leisure Suit Larry works as a cartoon. You can't expect to do anything else if you try to make it look realistically.
It looks like something from like Ralph Bakshi or something. I imagine he'd be
What?
good
What?
at like a cartoon of that.
Well, here's the funny thing about that. I actually read this in that at one point after the first Leisure Suit Larry game, Sierra was going to bank on a movie of Leisure Suit Larry, but here's the catch. They were going to do it as a live action movie.
Ew.
Oh,
You want to take a wild guess who they wanted to pick for it?
Bill
Play the
Murray.
role?
Adam
No,
Sandler.
Rob Schneider.
no,
Travolta, John
What?
Travolta.
guys, it's none of those. Sierra wanted Jim Carrey to play the role as
I would be
Larry.
cool with that.
Ah,
I would be
Okay.
cool with that.
That's
I
not
hate
a bad choice.
Larry as a
if you're
person.
gonna do it, I still think 2D is the way to go. I mean, it's a cartoon.
Well,
Like-
here's the problem, Way. In the 80s, you wouldn't have any much luck finding anyone to pick up a R-rated 2D cartoon because, hey, let's be honest, in those times, the mindset of animation is for kids bullshit was at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, it's still there. It's still here.
I wish it would
like
go
Ralph
away, to be honest.
Bakshi.
Right?
Like going back to him, Ralph Bakshi kind of did that, and it worked. It kind of worked. It's just that in that era, it would not fly at all.
No.
I mean,
guys.
let me finish.
Yeah.
Look at my profile picture.
He's right.
You think I don't know about Ralph Bakshi?
I'm
He's
a,
right.
that son of a bitch saved me from calling it quits from drawing.
He has some
You
funny
don't
jokes,
think
though.
you know?
Ralph
Honest-
Bakshi,
honest
That's
to
a brother
God,
rabbit
honest
avatar
to-
right there.
Honest to God, one of the things I love about Ralph Bakshi is his stuff is so timeless, is so good, and so amazing when it comes to socio-political commentary that a lot of these jackasses nowadays will watch his films and the message and ideas behind them would fly completely over their heads because
They'll
they're
just,
so
Oh,
fucking stupid.
they'll just look at it and say, "Oh, cool, the cartoon character swore." Ha ha ha! Kind of.
Slim, all right if I
that's
go
kind of
Slim, all right if I
Always like
with
this.
you Slim, with your permission, if I can make this comparison. It may be a little political, but can I make this comparison because it's kind of irrelevant to Ralph Bakshi's works?
Sure, man. Like you can't talk about Ralph Bakshi without bringing up politics.
I'm only going to bring this up once since it's relevant to the subject, and after that, I'm dropping the subject. I'm just wanting to be sure that this was okay with you. And you
Dude,
said-
just say it.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
say it.
okay, now, okay. Now, in the first Fritz the Cat movie, there was a scene where you had the two pig cops being cornered by the Black Crows after Fritz points them out as the spike boot of capitalism, the iron thumb of the heads of the proletariat. And when you want to know what the Crows do, they give them all they give the cops angry, dead-eyed, "We're gonna kill you, motherfuckers!" Like,
Yeah, I know the whole riot thing. The entire idea behind Fritz the Cat is that this is a guy who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, is going off on tangents, doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know why he's doing it. All he wants to do is talk, bitch, moan, complain because he's an overstuffed, petty white boy in that
sounds
in
like a
that
lot of
terms.
people nowadays.
but
And
here's the
honest to God, he has no idea what he's doing. He has no idea what he wants. All he knows is he wants to be on the side of the revolution without understanding what the revolution actually is. The entire point of Fritz the Cat is so fucking relevant to modern day that it's actually kind of scary. No, scratch that. It's actually kind of brilliant. Ralph Bakshi was a fucking genius, and
To
I
be
fucking love him.
to be
It's like
fair,
Matt Groening, where he accidentally just predicts the future.
Oh no!
With his
to be
Simpsons episode.
to be fair, if you actually compare the scene where the pigs get their asses handed to them by the Black Crows, that's pretty much relevant to any riot scene that's happening, especially to the ones in Minneapolis.
Yep. Oh boy.
Uh-huh.
Fritz the
Oh,
Cat
yeah.
it just becomes more and more relevant each and every day.
Except that it aged like fine wine.
I'm expecting I'm expecting a Nazi to ride on a motorcycle high on cocaine now.
Oh
Isn't that
man,
already
don't even bring up the horse scene, man. That's just legitimately hard to watch.
It really was.
Can I go back to what I was talking about with Larry?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, Sierra wanted Jim Carrey to play the role as Larry Laffer, but here's the catch. Al Lowe had the call on if it was going to be on the go or not. And Al was given a lot of scripts from big name writers. He didn't say which ones to be exact, but he looked at each one of them in terms of the scripts, and he just said, "These guys don't get it."
Yep, that sounds like Al Lowe.
From what I've read about it, it sounded like all the charm that was in Leisure Suit Larry was taken out, and I wouldn't be surprised if they just focused on the sex.
I'll be right
act.
back.
Okay.
Probably.
All right.
Okay.
When I think of a Leisure Suit Larry show, I kind of think of a quagmire who cannot get laid. That kind of.
Except this.
So Johnny Bravo,
Exactly.
like an X-rated Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Larry is more likable as a character compared to Quagmire.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. It's like
Everybody's
he
more
tries.
likable than Quagmire.
But I feel like a show in the Johnny Bravo style kind of would work for a Larry cartoon. You follow?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
figure that. I mean, it's up to Al Lowe, who, if he wants a new cartoon to happen with Larry, he has to find someone who's willing to make it.
Is Al Lowe still alive?
He is. He's just retired.
Oh, that's okay. That's actually cool.
I mean, to be fair, hold on, guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. It's urgent. I'll be right back.
Oh, we should probably wrap up soon, anyways.
Okay.
Alright.
How about this?
Or at least I probably will.
When Slim and CLX comes back, we'll wrap it all up.
Sounds
All
good.
right, I'm down with that. Man, I'm looking the timer up right now. Can't believe 2 hours have passed.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
what's going on?
When CLX comes back, do you want to wrap things up? It's been about a 2-hour cut.
Yeah, it's been fine. Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
All right.
And I hope I was like a good guess. I hope I wasn't too awkward.
I hope my mic was
We're all
good
awkward
quality
here.
this time.
Yeah, my mic's always shit. I need to, like, dude, I do all this from like a little, I wouldn't call it an iPad, more like a little tablet.
I can
So
say.
appreciate my skills as I do all this shit from a tablet.
I can say it's impressive, my
appreciate it.
friend. It's impressive, but at one point you're talking like a normal person, and then you're in the middle of a blizzard the next second.
It's like the audio spikes
okay, with
more
that,
than like
We
a
need
Mega
to
Man
pop
game.
filter.
Alright. So
Alright.
I think
So that was awesome. Thanks guys for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
thank you, Slim. I
I'm
appreciate
It
really
was
honored.
honored. I'm actually honored that I could take part of this. This was actually quite fun. If you're doing this again, I'd be more than honored to be part of the chat.
Same here.
Yeah.
It
I
was
agree
nice
with
talking to you.
CLX. Speaking of CLX and Hatch, I'm gonna follow you guys after this is done.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I'd be quite.
Twitter is basically at Head Hatchet.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys a follow if you give me guys a follow. How's that?
Okay.
Sure, I'm down.
Alright.
I'm just doing the whole thing. Thanks guys. Talk to you guys later. See ya.
All right.
Yeah,
See
see
ya.
Well,
guys
it
are
was
around.
fun. It was
Have a good
fun.
night, everyone.
Later, Wayward.
You too.
Take care, everybody.